Hey guys, tonight we begin with someone very close to you. In fact, they live with you. Actually, they live in you. They don't pay rent, they never sleep, and yet, somehow, they think they're in charge. Their name? The inner critic. And tonight, they just want to help. Of course, their version of help is questionable at best. You're tucked in now, the blankets are soft, the room is quiet, and your day is behind you. But just as your eyes begin to droop, a familiar voice perks up. Are you sure you said that right today? You blink once. What about that message you never replied to? Or the tone of that email? Or your posture during that conversation 5 years ago? Yep, it's them again. Your inner critic slides in like a manager, arriving late to a crisis they made up. Clipboard in hand, glasses they don't need, and that signature furrowed brow of gentle disapproval. They mean well, probably. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And I'd love to know, where are you watching from, and what time is it where you are? I love seeing the little map of sleepy brains across the globe. Now, dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together, because this story is about a voice inside your head, a voice that once tried to protect you from failure, embarrassment, shame, and maybe bad outfit choices. But somewhere along the way, it got a little too loud, a little too persistent, and a little too obsessed with keeping you improving. You're not alone. Most people carry a version of this voice. Psychologists still debate whether it develops primarily from early caregivers, social comparison, or that one time in middle school when someone pointed out your uneven shoelaces. But wherever it came from, tonight, you're going to get to know it, not to silence it, not to fight it, but to understand it, gently, quietly, like watching a small bird try to fold a fitted sheet. You're lying on a metaphorical couch now, not in a therapist's office, but somewhere deep inside your own mind. A warm, dusty lounge, lit with low amber lamps, scented faintly with lavender and old books. The inner critic sits across from you. They clear their throat. I just want what's best for you, they say, not meeting your eyes. You nod. I thought if I could remind you of everything you've ever done wrong, you might never do anything wrong again, they add, nervously adjusting their imaginary tie. You tilt your head. It's an odd logic, but it tracks, if you're a foghorn with anxiety issues. Still, something about the way they say it, you can tell they believe it. Your inner critic doesn't hate you. Far from it. In fact, they might be your biggest fan. A weird, micromanaging, unlicensed fan with questionable motivational tactics. They look like someone trying to be helpful at a party where no one asked for advice. If I didn't remind you about everything you missed, how would you ever succeed, they say. You don't answer. Not yet. You're letting the words settle. Because here's the thing. The inner critic is tired too. After all, they've been on the night shift since your teenage years. They never got promoted. They never even asked for the job. They were just appointed, somewhere between your first spelling mistake and your first, why aren't you more like your cousin, moment. Psychologists still debate whether this voice is primarily a function of internalized social expectations or evolved hypervigilance. But whatever its origin, it seems to have one job: keep you safe, even if that means keeping you small, even if that means interrupting your rest to ask, Why haven't you done more today? Tonight, though, you're not here to defend yourself. You're not here to argue. You're here to listen, softly, curiously, as if you're trying to understand an animal that's been barking at your door for years, only to discover it's actually guarding you from imaginary squirrels. You notice the critic shifting in their seat. "I never wanted to hurt you," they mumble, leafing through a notebook titled "Mistakes You've Probably Made." You smile gently. The notebook is comically thick, leather-bound, worn at the corners, as if it's been consulted a few too many times. "Maybe," you say aloud, "we could read something else tonight." The critic hesitates, but then slowly, they nod, because maybe they're tired of being the villain. Maybe they'd rather be a librarian, or a life coach, or just quiet. And as you breathe deeply, the room gets a little warmer, a little softer. The lights dim just enough to hush the shadows. Outside, the breeze rustles a curtain of thoughts you haven't visited in years. And for now, for just this moment, your mind exhales. Because sometimes, the first step toward peace is just letting the critic rest beside you. Section 2. Hey guys, welcome back. As you settle in, you might notice the quiet in the room feels a bit different tonight. It's as if the air itself is more relaxed, the sounds of the world outside fading into soft, rhythmic whispers, maybe even the tiniest hum of a distant wind chime sways through the air. You're tucked in, cozy, with the weight of your day drifting away like a feather in the breeze. And just as your body sinks deeper into comfort, here comes that familiar voice again. "Well, I'm sure you'll sleep well," it says, almost too cheerfully. "But do you think you made the right choices today? And that conversation you had at lunch, was it really your best performance?" It's the inner critic, back at it. You can't help but smile, this time with a little amusement. After all, it's kind of adorable how determined they are to help, even when their help is, let's just say, unconventional. But tonight, we're going to take it easy on them. Psychologists still debate whether the inner critic stems from our need for approval, or if it's simply a byproduct of our evolved social awareness. Either way, it's clear that the critic believes they're a necessary part of the team. The truth is, this voice isn't trying to hurt you. It's a little like a knight in shining armor, except that armor is covered in post-it notes with reminders, and the knight has a tendency to overshare. But as annoying as the knight's advice might be, their intention is to protect you, much like a chihuahua trying to ward off a bear. You're now in your cozy, imaginary living room. Your blankets are a little fluffier, the room a bit dimmer, and there's a warm, lavender-scented breeze passing through the air, as if the universe itself is saying, just relax. Your inner critic looks at you, sitting on the couch across from you, holding a very large mug of tea. Because let's face it, they always overdo it with the caffeine. They stare at the mug and then back at you. "I'm not really sure if tea is what you need," they say. "Have you tried meditating instead? Or writing down your goals?" Or you raise an eyebrow. It's endearing, really. They're so earnest, but they're a bit like that one friend who gives unsolicited advice at every party. You love them, but also, you kind of want to tell them, "Hey, chill. It's just a Tuesday night. Maybe," you say slowly, "we could just, do nothing for a minute?" The critic blinks in confusion. It's the sort of expression they wear when confronted with the idea of doing absolutely nothing. Their brain might as well be screaming, "But what if doing nothing means wasting time?" But there's a moment, just a tiny one, where the critic pauses. Maybe they begin to wonder if it's okay to simply be, not perfect, not busy, just here. And the truth is, it feels nice. That space between thoughts, where the world is still and the heart isn't racing. Psychologists still debate whether the constant mental chatter we carry is rooted in anxiety, or if it's simply a mechanism we developed to constantly prepare for the next challenge. Either way, that voice is relentless, and it often doesn't know when to stop. But tonight, it's different. There's no rush, no pressure to constantly perform. Your critic, once again, shifts in their seat. You notice how the tension around their shoulders loosens, just a little. It's almost like they're sighing in relief too, realizing that maybe, just maybe, they don't need to be on high alert all the time. "Well," they mutter, "I guess it's okay to just be quiet for a bit. It's not like there's any deadline I'm missing." They glance at their watch. "But just for a few minutes, okay?" You smile softly. The critic, in their own way, is finally beginning to understand what you've known all along, that it's okay to let go. Not every moment needs to be a lesson in improvement, not every slip up a reminder of failure. Sometimes, the best thing you can do is simply rest and let the world unfold at its own pace. And with that, you both sit there for a while. No judgment, no plans, just the calm silence of two unlikely companions in this gentle moment. Hey guys, welcome back to the stillness. As you lie there, letting your body sink deeper into the soft embrace of the mattress, there's a sense of calm that starts to settle over you like a cozy blanket you've had for years. It's warm, familiar, and just right. The moonlight filters through your window, casting soft shadows that dance lazily across the room. You can hear the gentle rustle of trees outside, their leaves brushing together as if sharing secrets with the night sky. Your inner critic, ever the guest who won't quite leave the party, is still here, though they've mellowed a bit. They've stopped their usual barrage of shoulds and coulds, and now they seem to be leaning back, taking a deep breath, almost like they're starting to let the idea of rest sink in too. "So, what now?" they ask, voice quieter this time. They don't sound as frantic as before, and maybe, just maybe, there's a hint of curiosity in their tone. "Well," you reply, "we could just be for a while. No tasks, no reminders, just this." The thought of resting without a to-do list is almost foreign to them, but there's a flicker of understanding that dances across their features. You can see them trying to process the idea, their fingers tapping against their leg, in a rhythm that's more about thinking than impatience. Psychologists still debate whether the act of simply being is a learned behavior or something inherently human. This ability to pause, to let go of everything we think we should be doing. But one thing is certain, in this moment you are mastering it, not by force, but by gentle surrender. The critic seems to soften. They look around, as if they've never noticed the peace that's been here all along. You can almost hear them thinking, "Is it really this easy?" They stare at their own hands for a moment before lifting their eyes to meet yours. "Okay," they finally say, "but I don't really know how to do this whole doing nothing thing. Do you just sit there?" They sound almost sheepish, like a kid being told they can have dessert before dinner. You smile, the corners of your mouth lifting slightly. Exactly. You just sit there, let your thoughts float by like clouds. It's almost like fishing without a hook. You're not trying to catch anything, just watching the water. The critic, still unsure, glances around the room. They might be considering whether this could actually work. You can almost hear the gears in their head turning as they try to figure out how to optimize this moment, how to do nothing properly. Well, they say with a slight huff, this feels like wasted time. They give a little dramatic sigh, looking almost like they want to give you an entire PowerPoint presentation on time management. But then, something changes. Maybe it's the way the moonlight glints off the corner of a nearby book. Or maybe it's the way your voice feels, like a soft blanket wrapping around the room. Either way, the critic leans back again, their shoulders dropping just a little. And in that quiet, still space, you both find something rare. Peace. It's the kind of peace that isn't loud or attention-seeking, but soft, like the afterglow of a sunset. There's no judgment, no measuring of progress, just the acceptance of what is. Maybe this is the point, the place where you don't need to do anything, not for approval, not for improvement, just for the sheer joy of existing. Psychologists still debate whether we're conditioned to believe that constant activity equals worth, or if we're simply afraid of silence. But in this moment, neither of those questions matter. All that matters is the quiet. The critic, no longer the anxious, overbearing figure they once were, sits in this moment with you. And even though they're still holding their clipboard, it feels less like a tool of correction and more like a forgotten prop. The critic lets out a little laugh, almost unsure if it's allowed, but it's real. It's the sound of someone realizing that maybe they don't need to be the one in control all the time. Maybe I don't have to be so loud, they admit, their voice soft, almost playful now. Maybe just resting is enough. You nod, a gentle understanding passing between you. For once, the critic isn't there to judge. They're just another part of you, learning to be, to rest, to let go. And in that small, quiet space, you find a new kind of balance, not in perfection, not in endless doing, but in the simple act of just being here, together, in the quiet of the night. Hey guys, here we are again, drifting gently further into that quiet space where thoughts meander slowly like clouds drifting across a lazy summer sky. Your body feels heavier now, sinking softly into the mattress, the weight of the day dissolving like sugar in warm tea. Maybe the soft, rhythmic ticking of a clock nearby sounds like a slow heartbeat, steady and reassuring. The room is filled with that soothing quiet, the kind that makes even your eyelids feel pleasantly heavy. Your inner critic, surprisingly, has settled into a comfy chair by the window, staring out at the stars, as if pondering the mysteries of the universe. For once, they're not checking a list or reminding you of mistakes. Instead, they seem curious, like a kid who's wandered into a science museum and found the interactive exhibit they didn't expect to enjoy. Do you ever wonder, they say quietly, if maybe I'm just afraid? Afraid that if I don't remind you, things will fall apart? You consider this. It's a little like asking if the lighthouse is afraid of the storm. Psychologists still debate whether fear or love drives the inner critic. Are they a harsh taskmaster or a worried guardian? Maybe they're a little of both. There's a quirky metaphor that fits here. Like a worried mother hen watching her chicks wander too far from the nest. clucking incessantly to keep them close, even when the chicks are fully capable of finding their own way. The critic is that hen, only instead of feathers, it's armed with sticky notes and nagging questions. You smile softly. Maybe, you say, you're just trying to keep me safe. But sometimes, safety means letting go. The critic scratches their head, as if that's a puzzle they've never quite solved. Letting go? They echo. Sounds risky. It is risky, in a way. Letting go means stepping into the unknown, the place where mistakes might happen and where things might not be perfect. But it's also where growth lives, quietly, patiently waiting. Psychologists still debate whether people can truly change their internal dialogue, or if it's a lifelong dance with the voices inside. But what matters tonight is that you're learning the steps. The critic looks out the window again, their gaze softening. Maybe I don't have to be the loudest voice, they whisper. Maybe I can be the quiet one who just listens. And isn't that something? The idea that the critic could become a companion rather than a commander, a gentle presence rather than a harsh judge. You feel the calm wash over you again, deeper now, like dipping your toes into a cool, clear lake on a warm day. The critic sighs, a little tired, but somehow lighter. It's the kind of sigh that comes when a weight is lifted, even if only a small one. Maybe we can try this, the critic says, together. And that's the moment you realize the inner critic, for all their faults, was never your enemy. They were just a misunderstood friend, trying their best in the only way they knew how. So now, as your eyes begin to close, and the world around you fades to a gentle blur, you let that thought settle in. The critic is there, but quieter. The night is calm, and you are safe. As you sink deeper into the soft embrace of the night, the space around you breathes with a slow, steady rhythm, almost as if the very walls are practicing gentle meditation alongside you. The comforting weight of your blanket feels less like fabric and more like a cloud stitched just for you, while a faint lavender scent drifts through the air, as if nature itself is on duty to hush your restless thoughts. Your inner critic, who once was that relentless, buzzing voice, now feels more like an old uncle on the couch, asking odd questions, but genuinely trying to make sense of things. Have you noticed I'm kind of like that one friend who always gives advice at a party, even when no one asked? Like, hey, maybe you shouldn't have eaten that third slice of pizza at 3 a.m. They say it with a serious tone, but you catch a hint of, I know I'm not the life of the party. You can't help but smile inwardly, knowing your inner critic is basically the stand-up comedian no one invited, but who somehow still takes the stage. They want to help, just in the most awkward way possible. After all, psychologists still debate whether this voice was born to protect us or just to crank up the anxiety, like that one friend who issues spoiler alerts on everything that might go wrong before the movie even starts. But deep down, you know it wants what's best for you, even if its version is more like, careful, careful, watch your step, then go out and crush it. If your mind were a garden, your inner critic would be the overprotective gardener who trims even the shyest flowers, scared they'll grow too big and overshadow the rest. It's trying to keep you safe from burning in life's sun, but sometimes ends up pruning a little too much, making everything a bit too neat, like that person who puts labels on everything. Remember to breathe. Don't forget to be kind to yourself. Try not to lose your mind before 10 p.m. Despite all the nagging, you sense a special kind of care beneath it all. That same care that makes it pull you back whenever you start to relax too much, like a manager obsessed with deadlines that don't even exist. Sometimes it even tries to crack a joke, a private one that only it understands. Like, if you mess up, at least you got a fair warning. The kind of joke that makes you grin awkwardly, but secretly appreciate the sentiment. Interestingly, psychologists still argue whether this inner critic can ever be truly tamed, or if it's just a permanent resident in your brain. Kind of like the neighbor who never got an invite, but always shows up with a box of weird cookies. The best strategy isn't to evict it, because it knows all your secrets, but to invite it for coffee, set gentle boundaries, and recognize that sometimes it just wants to feel useful. So now, as the night's silence wraps around you like a warm blanket, you let the critic sit there with its imaginary coffee, watching the slow dance, city lights outside your window. You can thank it for the concern, but know that for now, the best thing is to let the world spin, your body relax, and your mind drift without judgment. After all, even the most diligent gardener deserves a break, and so do you. You notice the way the night softly folds itself around you, like a slow exhale after holding your breath too long. The familiar weight of your blanket feels more like a gentle hug than just fabric. Its texture, a subtle reminder of safety and warmth. Somewhere in the background, a distant clock ticks in an unhurried tempo, as if reminding you that time is just a friendly companion, not a taskmaster. The quiet hum of the world outside, leaves rustling softly, faint traffic sounds drifting by, forms a delicate symphony designed to coax your mind into rest. And yet, even in this peaceful cocoon, your inner critic lingers nearby. But tonight, it's different. The usual sharp edge of its voice is softened, like a guitar string that's been tuned down for a lullaby instead of a rock anthem. It's leaning against the wall like a slightly awkward but well-meaning friend who just wants to make sure you're okay. Hey, it says with a sheepish grin, I know I'm usually that guy who points out the cracks in the plan, but what if I told you I just want to help? You want to laugh, because that sounds like something out of a sitcom. The inner critic wanting to help. It's like a cat volunteering to be a lifeguard. Adorable, but maybe a little misguided. Yet, here you are, listening, curious. The truth is, that voice inside your head started as a guardian, a sentinel designed to protect you from failure, embarrassment, and the painful lessons that life can hand out, like unsolicited flyers on a rainy day. Psychologists still debate whether this voice is a natural byproduct of evolution, our brains wired to anticipate threats and prepare us for social scrutiny, or if it's learned, shaped by early experiences and cultural whispers. Maybe it's a little of both. Imagine the critic as a nervous librarian in a massive, dusty library where every book is a memory, a thought, a feeling. It tries to keep the place organized, shushing the loud emotions, stamping "return soon" on anxious thoughts, and quietly shelving regrets so you don't trip over them. But sometimes, in its earnestness, it knocks over a pile of papers or misplaces a key volume, creating chaos even as it tries to bring order. You catch yourself smiling at this metaphor because, let's be honest, who hasn't had a moment where their own mind feels like that library, full of noise, misplaced books, and a librarian who's had just a little too much coffee? That's the thing. The inner critic isn't your enemy. It's a flawed part of you, a nervous system that's overprepared and slightly exhausted from years of keeping watch. It's the voice that worries you won't be good enough, that you'll say the wrong thing, or that you'll disappoint those you love. It's the voice that shows up in the quiet moments to remind you of the time you flubbed a presentation or said something awkward at a party. And yes, sometimes it's relentless. It's like a hyperactive squirrel, bouncing from one worry to another, never quite satisfied, never quite silent. You might even joke internally that your brain has its own 24/7 news channel called Bad News Daily, hosted by the inner critic, complete with weather reports on impending storms of self-doubt. Psychologists still debate whether this incessant mental chatter is primarily driven by anxiety disorders or is a universal human condition. That constant low-level noise of self-evaluation and internal dialogue that keeps us on edge, but also connected to ourselves. Whatever the answer, the presence of this voice is undeniable. But here's the twist you might not expect. Your inner critic wants to be heard. It craves your attention because it feels unseen and unappreciated, like an overzealous coach who shouts instructions from the sidelines. It believes that if it's loud enough, you'll finally get it right. The problem is, that coach never learned to whisper encouragement, only to bark warnings. Now, imagine that coach sitting beside you, leaning in a little too close, breath smelling faintly of worry and stale coffee. You might want to tell them to back off, but maybe instead you lean back and say, "Okay, I hear you, but what if we tried a new approach?" Because here's where the story changes. Learning to work with your inner critic instead of against it. That means inviting it to the table, not as a judge, but as a partner. It's like discovering that your grumpy old GPS isn't trying to frustrate you, but is just really, really anxious about you getting lost. You start to realize that when the critic reminds you of a past mistake, it's actually trying to protect you from repeating pain. When it questions your choices, it's trying to keep you safe from harm. But the way it goes about it is like a friend who only knows how to give advice in the form of what not to do rather than what could be. So you take a deep breath, soft and slow, feeling the air fill your lungs, and then gently leave your body. And you say to yourself, "Thank you. I see you. But I'm going to try something new. I'm going to listen for the good intent beneath the noise." Because part of healing this relationship with your inner critic is discovering the humor in it. That squirrely voice that's endlessly worried is also endlessly human. You might picture it wearing a tiny, ill-fitting suit and oversized glasses, carrying a notebook filled with doodles and half-baked plans, and maybe it stumbles and trips and spills coffee on the carpet, but it's trying. You realize the inner critic doesn't want to be silenced. It wants to be understood and gently guided. That means setting boundaries, like telling that hyperactive squirrel, "Hey, you can remind me once or twice, but no need to throw a party every time I make a typo." It's also about recognizing that perfection isn't the goal. Your inner critic might have signed you up for the impossible Olympics, but you're learning to cheer for progress, not perfection. It's okay to fumble, to rest, to be perfectly imperfect. In fact, it's more than okay. It's human. Psychologists still debate whether we re-hardwired to seek perfection or if it's a cultural script we learn, but one thing is certain. The less you fight your inner voice, the easier it becomes to listen with kindness instead of fear. So, as you drift here now, you allow yourself to be imperfect, to rest without guilt, to embrace the messy, beautiful reality of your mind. You imagine your inner critic sitting beside you, holding a cup of calming tea, their shoulders a little less tense, their voice a little softer, and you both settle into the quiet, the soft hum of the night wrapping around you like a lullaby. No judgments, no demands, just two parts of the same whole, learning to coexist. The air is cool against your skin, and you feel your heartbeat slow, steady, and peaceful. The world outside continues in its gentle rhythm, and inside, your mind finally exhales. You find yourself drifting further into this quiet moment, the night stretching on softly like a warm, worn blanket that's just the right weight. The gentle, almost imperceptible hum of your surroundings wraps around you like a familiar melody. The subtle creak of the house settling the distant whisper of wind threading through the trees, the occasional faint bark of a dog echoing somewhere far away like a sleepy sentinel on watch. It's all so calm, and somehow your inner world feels just as still, as if the restless chatter has finally begun to soften into a soothing murmur. Your inner critic, who once seemed like a sharp-edged editor scribbling furiously on your mental manuscript, has now softened into something less intimidating. They sit beside you, more like a nervous neighbor borrowing sugar, eager to help, but unsure exactly how. It's as if they've traded their clipboard for a cup of tea and a curious smile. You know, they say hesitantly, maybe I've been a little intense, but it's only because I care. You chuckle softly inside, thinking how funny it is that your brain has its own tiny worrier, who, as basically the overachiever of self-doubt. It's like having a hyper-vigilant puppy who's convinced the mailman is a sneaky intruder, barking at shadows, even though the room is perfectly safe. That's your inner critic, always on high alert, trying desperately to keep you from tripping over life's invisible cracks. Psychologists still debate whether this voice evolved to protect us from danger, or if it's simply a side effect of living in a world obsessed with achievement. Either way, it's relentless. But tonight, it's kinder. Maybe it's tired of running interference, or maybe it's learning that sometimes the best protection is gentle presence rather than loud warnings. You begin to notice the quirky ways your inner critic shows up, like that time it reminded you, right before you fell asleep, that you forgot to reply to an email from 3 weeks ago, or how it questioned your choice of socks this morning, wondering if you were subconsciously sabotaging your day by wearing mismatched patterns. It's like a sitcom character who means well, but always ends up complicating the plot. And yet, in that chaos of criticism, there's a strange sort of love, a care wrapped up in awkwardness and misfiring instincts. The critic isn't your enemy. It's more like the world's most anxious fan club president, yelling encouragement in the form of, "Don't mess up," instead of, "You're doing great." You start to realize that this voice is craving something important: connection, acknowledgement, maybe even a bit of forgiveness. It wants to be heard, not shouted down. So instead of silencing it, you try something different. Listening with gentle curiosity, you invite the voice to speak, but on your terms. "I hear you," you say softly. "Thank you for caring. But right now, I just need quiet." It's not easy, this kind of negotiation. Your inner critic is used to being the loudest voice in the room. It thrives on urgency, on pointing out flaws, on setting impossible standards. But with patience, it begins to soften, like a song slowing down from a frantic pace to a lullaby. You picture your mind as a cozy living room where this critical voice and your kind, patient self can sit together, sipping tea, sharing stories, and occasionally making light of their own overzealousness. There's room for both. The careful guardian and the weary traveler. They don't always agree, but they're learning to coexist. Psychologists still debate whether people can ever fully quiet their internal critics, or if it's part of the human condition to have that inner dialogue. But maybe the goal isn't silence, it's harmony. Finding a rhythm where that voice can speak without drowning out your own. And as your breath deepens, slow and steady, you feel the night drawing you toward rest. The critic, now softer and more understanding, steps back, allowing space for peace to fill the quiet corners of your mind. You realize that sometimes the greatest act of kindness is simply letting yourself be, imperfect, unhurried, and whole. The quiet night gently cradles you now, like a soft whisper brushing against your skin. The subtle scent of lavender lingers in the air, mingling with the faint rustle of leaves just outside your window. Your body rests heavier against the mattress, sinking into its gentle embrace, as if the bed itself were a warm harbor, inviting you to stay a while longer. The familiar hum of the world slows to a tender murmur, blending with your own heartbeat, steady and calm. Your inner critic, that ever-present companion, sits beside you, not as a harsh judge or relentless taskmaster, but more like a weary friend, finally learning the value of silence. Its voice, once sharp and insistent, has softened into a quiet murmur, almost hesitant to disturb this fragile peace. You know, it says softly, maybe I don't need to be so loud all the time. Maybe I can just watch, listen, and learn to be still with you. You nod gently, recognizing the bravery in that admission. It's not easy to let go of the urge to control, to correct, to caution at every turn. The critic has held this role for so long that stepping back feels like stepping into the unknown. But here, in the stillness, it finds something it's never known: acceptance without judgment. You picture your mind as a vast, quiet forest at dusk. The critic is like a small fox, cautious and alert, always scanning for danger. But tonight, the fox lies down beside you in the soft moss, eyes half closed, trusting the quiet. The stars begin to peek through the canopy above, distant and gentle reminders of light even in darkness. Psychologists still debate whether this inner voice is a vestige of our primal survival instincts or a byproduct of modern life's pressures. Maybe it's both. A guardian shaped by evolution and culture, forever guarding the threshold between safety and risk. But here, in this moment, it simply breathes with you. You smile softly, feeling a warmth spread through your chest, the kind that comes from understanding and compassion. You realize that the critic's relentless warnings were born from a place of care, albeit clumsy and overzealous care. It was the part of you trying to keep your fragile self safe in a world that can be unpredictable and sometimes harsh. But safety, you remind yourself gently, doesn't always mean holding tight. Sometimes it means letting go. As you breathe in deeply, you invite a sense of spaciousness into your mind. The critic, now quieter, seems to breathe with you, its rhythm slower, more relaxed. You imagine it folding up its clipboard, setting it aside like an old, well-worn book, finally closed for the night. In the soft glow of this shared quiet, you both begin to rest. The critic, no longer the relentless overseer, becomes a gentle guardian, watchful but kind, present but peaceful. And as your eyelids grow heavier, fluttering like delicate leaves settling on a tranquil pond, you feel the tender embrace of rest enfolding you completely. Tonight, you are safe. You are enough. And in this stillness, healing begins. The night deepens around you like a velvet curtain, softly wrapping every sound, every breath in its tender folds. The air is cool but inviting, with a faint scent of earth and distant rain, as if the world itself is exhaling a long, slow sigh of relief. Your body feels heavy in the best way, melted into the mattress, as if gravity has grown kinder, easing every muscle and thought. Your inner critic, once a fierce sentinel, brandishing sharp words like tiny arrows, now sits quietly nearby. It's no longer the loud voice interrupting your peace, but rather a companion who has, at last, learned to whisper. You imagine it as a small, earnest figure with slightly rumpled clothes, maybe the kind of person who brings you herbal tea without asking, caring, but not always in the most graceful way. Maybe, it says softly, almost shyly, I was trying to protect you, but I forgot sometimes that protection doesn't mean pressure. You nod, understanding dawning like the first gentle rays of dawn. Protection, yes, but also kindness, patience, and trust. Your critic's old tactics, nagging reminders, pointed critiques, the incessant what ifs, were born of fear of failure, of judgment, of pain. But fear, you realize, doesn't have to run the show. Psychologists still debate whether the inner critic is a relic of our survival wiring or a learned pattern from the world around us. Maybe it's a little bit of both, woven into the fabric of who we are. But no matter its origin, it's clear this voice has a deeply human desire to keep you safe, to keep you whole. You take a deep, slow breath, feeling the cool air slide gently in and out of your lungs. You picture your mind as a quiet garden at twilight. The critic, once a towering figure wielding pruning shears aggressively, has now settled into the soft grass beside a small pond, watching the reflection of the stars ripple with the breeze. It no longer tries to trim or shape the garden, but simply observes, learning the beauty of allowing growth at its own pace. And you too feel a new sense of ease. The tension in your chest loosens, your jaw unclenches, and your thoughts slow from a rapid river to a calm stream. You realize that healing this relationship with your inner voice doesn't mean silencing it. It means inviting it to rest beside you, to breathe with you, to become a part of your peace instead of your pressure. You smile softly at this thought, feeling the gentle humor in it. It asks like discovering that your strictest teacher actually wanted to be your biggest cheerleader all along, just had a very unusual way of showing it. Maybe even a little awkward, like someone trying to dance and accidentally stepping on your toes, but meaning well. Psychologists still debate whether people can ever fully quiet their inner critic or if it's an intrinsic part of our mental landscape. But what matters is that you're learning to listen with kindness, to respond with patience, and to nurture the parts of yourself that need it most. The night hums softly around you, a lullaby written by the universe itself. Your breath becomes a steady rhythm, the gentle rise and fall, a quiet affirmation that you are here. You are enough, and you are resting. And with that, the critic leans back, finally at ease, its voice a soft echo in the calm. Tonight, you both rest together. The gentle quiet of the night wraps around you like a soft, familiar blanket, comforting and endless. Your breathing deepens, slow and steady, syncing with the natural rhythm of the darkened world outside your window. The faint sound of leaves brushing against each other creates a delicate, almost hypnotic symphony, like a lullaby, composed by the earth itself. Every muscle in your body melts further into the softness beneath you, as if gravity has softened its grip just to cradle you a little more tenderly. Your inner critic, once sharp and relentless like a strict school teacher, pacing the classroom, has softened considerably. Now, it sits beside you, not with its usual barrage of pointed remarks, but with a quiet curiosity, like a cautious cat dipping its paw into calm waters. It seems less eager to correct and more interested in understanding, less focused on what's wrong, and more open to what is. You know, it says gently, voice low and somewhat shy, I guess I never really knew how to be gentle. I thought tough love was the only kind of love I could offer. You allow yourself a small, knowing smile, recognizing the vulnerable honesty behind those words. It's as if this part of you has spent so long in defense mode that it forgot the softer ways to care. And now, here in the hush of night, it's starting to remember. The world outside continues its slow, soothing dance. A distant owl hoots softly, crickets chirp in their rhythmic chorus, and the occasional breeze carries the scent of dew-kissed grass. Inside you, a new kind of peace is budding, one that isn't born from silence alone, but from acceptance. Acceptance of all the voices inside you, including the one that's been a little too loud for too long. Psychologists still debate whether the inner critic can ever be fully transformed, or if it's simply part of the intricate mosaic of the human psyche. But perhaps transformation isn't about erasing that voice. It's about shifting its role from judge and jury to a gentle guide who walks beside you, not ahead of you. You imagine this voice now as a small gardener tending your inner landscape with a softer touch. It's no longer wielding sharp shears or stamping not good enough signs on delicate blooms. Instead, it's gently watering seeds, quietly noticing the little shoots of progress and resilience that often go unseen. And you feel grateful for this change, for the space you've created together, for the kindness that's beginning to bloom in the shared silence. You breathe in deeply, the cool night air filling your lungs, and exhale slowly, releasing any lingering tension. Your heartbeat slows, steady and sure, like a calm drumbeat guiding you toward rest. You're exactly where you need to be, safe, held, and understood. With a final gentle nod, your inner critic settles beside you, no longer a looming shadow, but a quiet presence. Together, you drift deeper into the soothing embrace of night, ready to rest, to heal, and to dream. The night's soft embrace deepens, wrapping you in a quiet that feels like the warmest kind of welcome. Outside, the stars scatter across the sky, like flecks of silver dust, steady and patient witnesses to this moment of calm. Your body settles further into the bed's gentle hug, every fiber surrendering to the soothing weight, as if the world itself is whispering, it's okay, you're safe here. Your inner critic, that once restless voice, like a persistent buzzer in the background, now seems less like a nagging alarm and more like a companion quietly humming a tentative tune beside you. Its usual sharpness has softened into a cautious curiosity. You sense it inching toward a new way of being, less about control and more about care. I suppose, it says softly, voice almost a whisper. I've been so focused on keeping you from harm that I forgot how to let you live. There's something touching in that confession, a glimpse of vulnerability you hadn't noticed before. It reminds you of a friend who's been overprotective out of love, but who's learning that love sometimes means stepping back and trusting you to find your own way. The gentle night around you is alive with quiet details. The rhythmic flutter of wings as a moth circles a porch light, the distant murmur of water flowing somewhere beyond sight, the way the cool air drifts in soft waves, brushing against your skin like a tender touch. These small, tender moments invite your mind to rest, to let go of tension and expectation. Psychologists still debate whether the inner critic is primarily a defense mechanism or a maladaptive habit learned through experience. Regardless, what you're discovering is that this voice, like any part of you, can evolve. It can soften its edges and shift from harsh taskmaster to gentle guide. You imagine it now as a quiet guardian sitting nearby, a watchful presence that no longer shouts warnings but offers quiet encouragement. Perhaps it's like a lighthouse keeper who dims the light just enough to let you steer your own ship, trusting in your ability to navigate the waters ahead, and you feel a warm swell of gratitude for this new relationship, for the space between you and the critic that's filled with understanding instead of fear, for the possibility that rest and growth can coexist. You breathe in deeply, filling your lungs with the crisp night air, and slowly exhale, releasing any lingering doubts or worries. Your heartbeat slows into a steady, peaceful rhythm, matching the gentle pulse of the night around you. In this quiet communion, you and your inner critic find a fragile peace, a truce born from acceptance and care. It's not perfect, and it might not always be easy, but it's real. And as your eyelids grow heavy and the world softens at the edges, you allow yourself to drift into sleep, carried by the gentle tide of calm you've created together. Tonight, you rest, truly rest, and that is enough. The night deepens like a slowly unfurling blossom, its petals soft and welcoming. The air around you is cool but comforting, carrying whispers of distant rain and the faint scent of damp earth. Your body, heavy and warm beneath the blankets, feels as if it's melting into the very fabric of the bed, every muscle surrendering to the gentle pull of rest. Outside, the world quiets to a hush, as if holding its breath in reverence for this moment of stillness. Your inner critic sits quietly now, no longer the sharp-tongued voice that once pierced through your thoughts like a winter chill. Instead, it's softened to a gentle murmur, like a friend who's finally learning the language of kindness. It seems almost hesitant to speak, choosing its words with care. I guess, it says softly, voice low and a little uncertain. I've been trying so hard to protect you that I forgot to trust you. You smile inwardly, warmed by the honesty. It's as though a heavy cloak of tension has been lifted from that part of you. This voice, once so insistent, is now learning the rhythm of patience and the art of gentle encouragement. Around you, the night hums with quiet life, the faint rustle of leaves stirred by a playful breeze, the distant call of a lone owl, the subtle creak of the house settling into its own dreams. These small sounds form a lullaby, coaxing your mind to release its grip on worry and rest fully. Psychologists still debate whether the inner critic is a vestige of primal survival instincts or a pattern shaped by early life experiences and societal pressures. Regardless, what you're discovering tonight is that this voice can change its tune. It can soften its warnings and become a quiet guardian, a companion rather than a commander. You imagine it now as a small lantern, its light steady but dimmed, illuminating the path ahead without blinding. It no longer tries to control every step, but offers a gentle glow to guide you when you ask for help. And you feel a deep gratitude for this new relationship, one built on respect, trust, and quiet understanding, for the space between you that's no longer filled with conflict but with calm. You take a deep, slow breath, feeling the cool air fill your lungs and then flow out, carrying away tension and doubt. Your heartbeat settles into a peaceful rhythm, steady and sure. Together, you and your inner critic rest in this shared silence. The night embraces you both, soft, protective cocoon. As your eyes close and your thoughts drift like leaves on a gentle stream, you know that this peace is real and yours to keep. Tonight, you are safe, you are enough, and you are at rest. The quiet of the night wraps around you like the softest shawl, its folds gentle and endless. The air holds a faint hint of rain-soaked earth, mingling with the delicate fragrance of night-blooming jasmine. Your body feels pleasantly heavy against the mattress, as though the bed itself is pulling you deeper into rest with tender insistence. Outside, the world breathes slow and steady, the distant rustle of leaves, the occasional chirp of a cricket, and the soft sigh of wind weaving through the trees form a lullaby that seeps into your very bones. Beside you, your inner critic no longer storms through your thoughts like an uninvited guest at a dinner party. Instead, it sits quietly like a hesitant visitor who's learning to respect the calm of your home. Its voice has softened to a murmur, laced with a gentle humility. "I guess I've been loud for so long," it says, voice almost shy, "because I was scared of losing you to mistakes." There's a tenderness in this admission that catches you off guard. It's as if the critic's sharp edges have been sanded down by time and understanding, revealing a vulnerable core you hadn't noticed before. The relentless drive to protect has given way to a quiet wish for trust. The night around you pulses with a slow, comforting rhythm. The far-off hoot of an owl, the subtle flutter of wings as a moth circles a porch light, the delicate whisper of a breeze brushing against window panes. These gentle sounds weave together, creating a peaceful symphony that cradles your mind and eases the tension from your thoughts. Psychologists still debate whether this inner voice is a primal survival mechanism or a habit carved out by years of experience and social conditioning. But here, in the softness of night, it's clear that this voice can shift. It can move from harsh overseer to quiet companion, a guardian who watches over you with care rather than command. You imagine it now as a small lantern glowing softly in the dark, casting just enough light to help you see the path ahead without overwhelming your senses. It no longer tries to control every step, but offers a gentle presence, ready to guide if needed, and you feel a deep sense of peace and gratitude for this new kind of relationship, one built on understanding, patience, and kindness. The space between you and this voice is no longer a battleground, but a place of harmony. You take a slow, deep breath, filling your lungs with cool night air before releasing it in a long, soft sigh. Your heartbeat settles into a steady, soothing rhythm, syncing with the quiet pulse of the night. Together, you and your inner critic rest in this shared stillness. The world outside continues its gentle dance, and inside, your mind exhales fully as your eyelids grow heavy and your thoughts drift away like leaves floating on a calm stream. You know this peace is yours, steady, gentle, and enduring. Tonight, you rest deeply, you rest well. The night deepens gently around you, folding over your thoughts like a soft, familiar quilt. The air feels cool but welcoming, carrying whispers of the earth's quiet breath, a delicate mix of damp soil and distant rain. Your body relaxes deeper into the mattress, every muscle surrendering to the slow pull of rest, as if the bed itself is an old friend cradling you with quiet patience. Outside, the world settles into its own gentle rhythm, the faint rustle of leaves, the occasional murmur of a nocturnal bird, the subtle hum of life wrapped in darkness. Your inner critic, once a sharp and insistent voice nagging in your mind, now sits beside you quietly, more companion than adversary. Its usual edge has softened, its tone gentler, as if it's learning a new language, one of kindness and patience. You imagine it as a small figure, perhaps a little weary, leaning back in an overstuffed chair, cup of tea in hand, eyes thoughtful and calm. I realize, it murmurs, voice low and sincere, that I've been trying to protect you in the only way I knew how. But maybe protection doesn't have to sound like a siren. You smile softly at this admission. It feels like a turning point, the moment when fear begins to loosen its grip, making way for understanding and trust. The critic's relentless vigilance, born from care and caution, is learning to soften, to step back and let you breathe. Around you, the night continues its lullaby, the rustling of trees, the distant call of an owl, the soft patter of leaves dancing in a gentle breeze. These sounds weave together into a serene symphony, inviting your mind to slow and your heart to rest. Psychologists still debate whether the inner critic is a survival mechanism wired into our brains or a habit formed from the stories and pressures of life. Regardless, tonight you are discovering that this voice can change. It can transform from a harsh judge to a gentle guide, from a source of pressure to a wellspring of care. You envision this voice now as a lantern, its glow soft and steady, illuminating the path without blinding. It no longer tries to control every step, but offers quiet light when you ask for it. And you feel a deep gratitude for this new relationship, for the space between you that has opened, a space filled with compassion, patience, and peace. You take a slow, deep breath, filling your lungs with the cool night air, and release it gently, letting go of tension and worry. Your heartbeat slows, steady and calm, matching the quiet rhythm of the night. Together, you and your inner critic rest in this shared stillness, embraced by the gentle hush of the world. As your eyelids grow heavy and your thoughts drift like clouds across a soft sky, you know this peace is real, yours to hold. Tonight, you rest deeply. Tonight, you heal. The stillness of the night wraps around you like a familiar, well-loved quilt, soft, warm, and infinitely comforting. The air is cool but gentle, carrying the faint scent of rain mingled with the earthy aroma of the soil, as if the world itself is breathing quietly alongside you. You feel your body sinking deeper into the mattress, every muscle slowly loosening, melting away the tight grip of the day. Outside, the night hums softly, the rustle of leaves stirred by a lazy breeze, the distant call of an owl, the subtle symphony of life at rest. These tender sounds soothe your mind, inviting you to join in their quiet lullaby. Your inner critic, that once sharp and insistent voice nagging at your thoughts like a persistent alarm, has softened to a gentle murmur. It sits beside you now, less a stern judge and more a companion, learning the art of patience. You picture it as a small figure, tired but sincere, holding a cup of warm tea, eyes softened by understanding. I guess, it says softly, I've been trying so hard to protect you that I forgot to trust you. You nod gently in response, feeling the truth of those words settle in your chest. This voice, once so loud and relentless, is beginning to remember kindness, both for you and for itself. The harsh edges are fading, replaced by a tender willingness to step back and simply be present. Outside, the night continues its gentle dance, the subtle flutter of moth wings near a porch light, the rustling of grass in the breeze, the steady, peaceful pulse of a world at rest. These sounds weave around you, a comforting embrace that quiets the mind and soothes the soul. Psychologists still debate whether the inner critic is a primal survival mechanism or a learned response shaped by life's challenges. Either way, you're discovering that this voice can evolve. It can shift from a relentless overseer to a quiet guardian, one who watches over you with care instead of command. You imagine it now as a lantern casting a soft, steady light, enough to illuminate your path without overwhelming your senses. It no longer tries to control every step, but offers a gentle glow when needed. And you feel a deep gratitude for this new harmony, for the peaceful space that has opened between you. It is a space filled with understanding, patience, and gentle acceptance. You take a deep breath, cool and refreshing, and exhale slowly, releasing the last traces of tension and worry. Your heartbeat slows to a calm, steady rhythm, matching the serene pulse of the night around you. Together, you and your inner critic rest in this shared stillness, cradled by the quiet embrace of the world. As your eyelids grow heavy and your thoughts drift softly away, you know this peace is real and lasting. Tonight, you rest deeply. Tonight, you heal gently. The gentle night settles around you like a soft cloak, its weight comforting, yet light enough to let your mind wander freely. Outside your window, the world breathes slow and easy. The subtle rustle of leaves, the distant crooning of a night bird, the faintest hint of a breeze stirring the air. Your body, warm and heavy beneath the covers, feels the steady pull of rest, muscles unwinding one by one, as if they too have been waiting for this moment. Your inner critic sits nearby, not the sharp-edged voice it once was, but softened into a quiet companion learning the rhythm of kindness. Its usual urgency has faded into something gentler, a voice that's beginning to understand the meaning of patience. You imagine it holding a warm mug, eyes soft, shoulders relaxed, a little shy, but earnest. I guess Ivy spent so long trying to keep you safe that I forgot to trust you, it says quietly, as if admitting a long-held secret. You smile inwardly, feeling the truth settle deep in your chest. This voice, once relentless and loud, now carries a softness born of understanding and care. It's learning, slowly but surely, to step back and simply be there, present without pressure. The night outside carries on its lullaby, the flutter of wings from a moth circling a porch light, the distant bark of a dog, the gentle hum of life at rest. These quiet sounds weave together, inviting your mind to relax and your heart to open. Psychologists still debate whether the inner critic is a primal warning system or a learned habit shaped by experience and culture. Regardless, you're discovering that this voice can change, that it can shift from judge to guide, from a source of tension to a source of calm. You imagine it now as a gentle lantern, casting a soft glow that lights your path without blinding you. It no longer tries to control every step, but offers quiet support when you need it most. You feel a deep gratitude for this new relationship, a space of trust, kindness, and peace that blossoms between you. It is a space where understanding replaces judgment and patience softens fear. You breathe deeply, drawing in the cool night air and slowly releasing it, letting go of tension and doubt. Your heartbeat slows, steady and calm, syncing with the gentle rhythm of the world around you. Together, you and your inner critic rest in this shared quiet, embraced by the soft hush of night. As your eyelids grow heavy and your thoughts drift gently away, you know this peace is real, enduring, and yours to keep. Tonight, you rest fully. Tonight, you heal softly. The night lingers on, wrapping you in its deep, velvety calm. The world outside seems to slow to a gentle pulse, a steady heartbeat of quiet and peace. Your body feels heavy in the best way, as though the mattress beneath you is a soft cloud inviting you to sink just a little deeper, to let go of all that no longer serves you. Your breath moves slowly now, a calm wave rising and falling in rhythm with the silent symphony of night. Beside you, your inner critic has softened from its usual sharp edge into a gentler voice, no longer the relentless taskmaster or hypervigilant guard. It sits quietly, more curious than commanding, more companion than commander. You picture it as a small, humble figure, seated comfortably, eyes thoughtful, hands folded calmly in its lap. I think I've been scared, it says quietly, voice barely more than a whisper. Scared that if I stop reminding you, you might get hurt. You nod, feeling the tenderness in that confession. It abrite as though the critic has been carrying a heavy burden all along, a burden born from a desire to protect, to shield, to keep you safe in a world that often feels uncertain and unpredictable. But protection, you realize, doesn't always come from noise or insistence. Sometimes it comes from quiet trust. Outside, the night carries a soothing soundtrack, the gentle rustle of leaves, the faint chirping of crickets, the soft flutter of a bird settling in for rest. These sounds blend with your breath and heartbeat, creating a peaceful cadence that draws you deeper into stillness. Psychologists still debate whether the inner critic is an evolutionary survival tool or a learned behavior shaped by experience and environment. What matters now is that you and this voice are finding a new way to relate, a way built on understanding rather than conflict. You imagine the critic now as a soft glow in the darkness, a lantern that doesn't blind but gently lights your path when you ask for it. It no longer insists on control, but offers guidance with patience and care. You feel gratitude welling up inside for this shift, for the quiet companionship, for the gentle peace settling within your mind. You breathe deeply, filling your lungs with cool, clean air, then release it slowly, exhaling all tension and worry. Your heartbeat slows, steady and sure, in sync with the tranquil rhythm of the night. Together, you and your inner critic rest in this shared silence, wrapped in the tender hush of the dark. As your eyelids grow heavy and your thoughts drift away like soft leaves on a gentle stream, you know this peace is real, lasting, and yours. Tonight, you rest deeply. Tonight, you heal gently. The night continues to fold softly around you, a quiet embrace that feels like the slow unfolding of a familiar story, told in whispers and shadows. Outside, the stars hang silently in their vast black canvas, flickering faintly like distant candle flames, steady and patient. Your body is heavy but peaceful, sinking comfortably into the mattress as if it were the softest nest. Each breath comes slow and even, drawing in the cool, scented air and releasing any lingering tension, a gentle rhythm echoing the quiet pulse of the world outside. Your inner critic, once a fierce and relentless voice in your mind, now feels more like a cautious friend, learning to soften its edges. It sits nearby, not with sharp words or harsh judgments, but with a quiet curiosity, a tentative calm. You imagine it as a small figure, wrapped in a cozy shawl, eyes reflecting a newfound tenderness. I've realized, it murmurs gently, that protection isn't always about pointing out every mistake. Sometimes it's about trust and letting go. That admission feels like a small gift, a bridge extending between fear and acceptance. The critic's sharp claws retract, replaced by a soft touch that brushes gently over your thoughts, smoothing the restless currents within. There is something profoundly human in this transformation, a recognition that caring doesn't need to be loud or demanding, but can simply be present. Outside, the night hums softly, the whisper of leaves, the distant song of a nightingale, the subtle murmur of a stream flowing unseen. These sounds weave into a peaceful melody, inviting your mind to quiet and your heart to open. Psychologists still debate whether this inner voice is a primal survival instinct or a pattern learned through years of experience and conditioning. But tonight, in this stillness, it doesn't matter. What matters is that this voice can change, can become a gentle guide instead of a relentless overseer. You picture the critic now as a lantern glowing with a soft, steady light, illuminating the path ahead without harshness. It no longer insists on control, but offers gentle illumination when you need it. You feel a deep gratitude for this new relationship, one filled with patience, kindness, and mutual respect. The space between you and the critic is no longer a battlefield, but a sanctuary of understanding. You breathe deeply, the cool night air filling your lungs, and exhale slowly, releasing any remaining tension. Your heartbeat slows, steady and calm, in tune with the quiet rhythm of the night. Together, you and your inner critic rest in this peaceful silence, embraced by the tender hush of the dark. As your eyelids grow heavy and your thoughts drift like soft petals on a gentle stream, you know this peace is real and lasting. Tonight, you rest fully. Tonight, you heal gently. The night settles over you like a velvet curtain, soft and embracing, its cool breath brushing gently against your skin. Your body, heavy and warm beneath the blankets, feels as if it's melting into the bed, every muscle loosening in a slow, satisfying release. Outside, the world hums quietly, the whisper of leaves, a distant owl's call, the subtle rustle of nighttime creatures moving in the shadows. These sounds mingle into a peaceful lullaby, coaxing your mind to drift and your heart to soften. Your inner critic, that once sharp and insistent voice in your head, now sits beside you with a quiet humility. No longer a stern judge, it has softened into a gentle presence, curious and patient. You picture it as a small figure wrapped in a cozy shawl, eyes kind and thoughtful, its usual sharp edges smoothed away by time and understanding. I suppose, it says softly, I was trying to keep you safe, but I realize now that safety isn't always about being loud or harsh. Sometimes it's about trust and letting go. You smile gently at this admission, feeling a wave of warmth spread through your chest. The critic's fierce protectiveness is shifting into something softer, an ally who's learning the language of kindness and patience. The night continues its gentle symphony, the flutter of moth wings near a porch light, the murmur of a stream in the distance, the steady cadence of your own breath. These delicate sounds weave together, inviting you to surrender fully to the moment. Psychologists still debate whether the inner critic is a primal survival mechanism or a learned pattern shaped by experience and culture. But what matters here, now, is the transformation unfolding within you, a shift from judgment to compassion, from control to acceptance. You imagine this voice now as a lantern glowing softly in the darkness, its light steady and warm, guiding you without overwhelming. It no longer tries to dictate every step, but offers gentle illumination when you seek it. Gratitude wells within you for this new harmony, for the peaceful space opening between you and your critic. It is a space of understanding, patience, and quiet strength. You breathe deeply, drawing in the cool night air and slowly releasing it, letting go of tension and worry. Your heartbeat slows, steady and calm, matching the serene rhythm of the night. Together, you and your inner critic rest in this shared stillness, wrapped in the gentle hush of the dark. As your eyelids grow heavy and your thoughts drift away like soft clouds on a breeze, you know this peace is real, enduring, and yours to hold. Tonight, you rest fully. Tonight, you heal gently. The night continues to deepen, folding around you like a soft and endless blanket. The air feels cool, but soothing, carrying a subtle scent of earth and rain, as if the world itself is exhaling a sigh of peace. Your body sinks further into the bed's gentle embrace, every muscle releasing tension as though it remembers the comfort of rest after a long day. Outside, the quiet symphony of night carries on, the rustle of leaves, a distant hoot from an owl, the faint whisper of a breeze weaving through the darkness. Your inner critic, that once sharp and relentless voice in your mind, now sits quietly beside you, softened and calm. It's no longer a harsh judge, but more of a gentle guide, learning the language of patience and kindness. You picture it as a small figure wrapped in a cozy shawl, eyes softened by understanding, voice low and steady. I realize now, it says softly, that protection isn't about constant warning. Sometimes it's about trust and gentle presence. You smile softly, feeling the warmth of that realization settle deep within you. The critic's fierce protectiveness begins to transform into a quiet, caring companionship, a guardian who watches over you without pressure or fear. The night around you hums with gentle life, the flutter of moth wings near a porch light, the soft murmur of a distant stream, the rhythmic breathing of the world at rest. These sounds blend into a soothing lullaby, inviting your mind to calm and your heart to open. Psychologists still debate whether the inner critic is a primal survival mechanism or a learned habit shaped by experience and culture. But tonight, in this shared quiet, it doesn't matter. What matters is the growing harmony between you and this voice, a shift from judgment to compassion, from control to acceptance. You imagine the critic now as a softly glowing lantern, its light steady and warm, illuminating your path without overwhelming. It no longer demands control, but offers guidance with gentle patience. Gratitude swells within you for this new relationship, for the space between you filled with understanding and peace. It is a sanctuary where both your gentle self and your cautious protector can coexist. You breathe deeply, filling your lungs with cool night air, and exhaling slowly, releasing all remaining tension and doubt. Your heartbeat slows, steady and calm, matching the peaceful rhythm of the night. Together, you and your inner critic rest in this serene stillness, embraced by the tender hush of darkness. As your eyelids grow heavy and your thoughts drift softly away, you know this peace is real, lasting, and yours to hold. Tonight, you rest deeply. Tonight, you heal gently. The quiet night stretches endlessly, a soothing expanse wrapped around you like a soft, familiar quilt. The air carries the delicate scent of damp earth and blooming flowers, mingling with the faint whisper of a gentle breeze brushing through the trees. Your body is heavy and warm beneath the blankets, every muscle unwinding slowly, as if sinking into the very fabric of comfort itself. Outside, the world hums a quiet lullaby, the distant call of a night bird, the rustling of leaves, the soft patter of a nearby stream, all weaving together to invite your mind to rest. Beside you, your inner critic has softened from his once relentless and sharp voice into a gentle presence. It no longer demands or judges, but listens with quiet curiosity, like a patient friend who's learning to be still. You imagine it as a small figure sitting beside you, wrapped in a cozy shawl, eyes kind and thoughtful. I see now, it murmurs softly, that true protection comes not from constant caution, but from trust and compassion. You feel a warmth spread through your chest at this admission, shared understanding blooming in the silence between you. The critic's fierce vigilance relaxes into a gentle watchfulness, ready to support without controlling. The night carries on its peaceful symphony, the flutter of a moth's wings near a porch light, the distant hoot of an owl, the gentle rustle of grass in the breeze. These sounds mingle with the rhythm of your breath, creating a calming melody that quiets your mind and soothes your soul. Psychologists still debate whether the inner critic is a primal survival mechanism or a learned response shaped by life's experiences and culture. Regardless, what matters now is the transformation taking place, a shift from harsh judgment to kind guidance, from pressure to peace. You picture the critic now as a softly glowing lantern, its light steady and warm, illuminating your path with gentle clarity. It no longer insists on control, but offers quiet illumination when needed. Gratitude fills your heart for this new relationship, a space of patience, understanding, and calm. The distance between you has softened into connection, a sanctuary of mutual respect. You inhale deeply, drawing in the cool night air, and exhale slowly, releasing all lingering tension. Your heartbeat slows, steady and serene, in harmony with the peaceful rhythm of the night. Together, you and your inner critic rest in this shared stillness, embraced by the gentle hush of darkness. As your eyelids grow heavy and your thoughts drift like soft clouds, you know this peace is real, enduring, and yours to hold. Tonight, you rest deeply. Tonight, you heal gently. The night's soft quiet deepens around you like a velvet cloak, enveloping every corner of your being with gentle calm. Outside your window, the world breathes in slow, steady waves, the distant hoot of an owl, the whisper of leaves stirred by a tender breeze, the faint murmur of a brook weaving its way through the darkened landscape. Your body feels weighted with the pleasant heaviness of deep rest, muscles releasing their grip as if sinking into a warm pool of serenity. Your inner critic, once a relentless voice with sharp edges and insistent commands, now sits beside you as a quiet presence. It's no longer a harsh judge, but a companion, learning the rhythms of patience and kindness. You imagine it as a small, humble figure wrapped in a soft shawl, eyes softened by understanding, and a hint of newfound gentleness. I realize, it murmurs, voice low and sincere, that protecting you doesn't mean controlling you. Sometimes it means trusting you to find your own way. The honesty in those words feels like a balm to your heart, a bridge between fear and acceptance. The critic's once rigid grip has loosened, replaced by a tender awareness that healing is not about perfection, but presence. The night around you hums with a quiet symphony, the flutter of moth wings near a porch light, the rustle of grass in the breeze, the steady cadence of your own breath. These sounds intertwine, creating a lullaby that cradles your mind and eases your spirit. Psychologists still debate whether the inner critic evolved as a survival tool or is a habit formed through life's experiences and cultural expectations. Whatever its origin, you're discovering that this voice can transform. It can become a gentle guide, a supportive presence, rather than a harsh overseer. You picture it now as a lantern glowing softly in the darkness, its light steady and warm, illuminating your path without overwhelming. It no longer demands control, but offers quiet illumination when asked. Gratitude swells within you for this new relationship, a space of mutual respect, kindness, and calm. The space between you and the critic has softened, becoming a sanctuary of understanding. You breathe deeply, the cool night air filling your lungs, and exhale slowly, releasing any lingering tension. Your heartbeat slows to a steady, peaceful rhythm, in harmony with the tranquil pulse of the night. Together, you and your inner critic rest in this shared silence, embraced by the tender hush of the dark. As your eyelids grow heavy and your thoughts drift away like soft clouds on a breeze, you know this peace is real, lasting, and yours to keep. Tonight you rest fully. Tonight you heal gently. The night stretches on, calm and endless, like a deep ocean of quiet that holds you gently in its embrace. The soft whisper of the wind outside your window carries the faint scent of pine and damp earth, weaving through the stillness with a tender grace. Your body feels heavy and warm beneath the blankets, every muscle melting into peaceful surrender, as though the bed itself is a harbor safe from all storms. Around you, the gentle symphony of night plays on, the distant call of a loon, the rustle of leaves brushing softly against one another, the subtle rhythm of your breath rising and falling in harmony. Your inner critic sits quietly beside you now, no longer the harsh voice of judgment, but a soft presence, humble and watchful. You imagine it as a small figure, draped in a cozy shawl, eyes full of quiet understanding, its usual sharpness softened by time and gentle care. I think, it says softly, I've been so focused on protecting you that I forgot how to be gentle. Those words feel like a balm, a small but powerful healing balm that seeps deep into the places where fear once clenched tight. The critic's grip loosens, replaced by a tender awareness that true care is born from patience and trust, not from fear and control. Outside, the night continues its gentle lullaby, the flutter of a moth's wings near the porch light, the distant murmur of a brook flowing softly over stones, the hushed chorus of crickets singing their delicate song. These sounds weave into a peaceful fabric that wraps around your mind and heart, inviting you to drift deeper into rest. Psychologists still debate whether the inner critic is a relic of our survival instincts or a learned voice shaped by the stories we hear and the experiences we live. Whatever the origin, you are discovering something more important, that this voice can transform. It can become a steady lantern, a quiet guide who illuminates without overwhelming, who supports without demanding. You picture it now as a gentle light glowing softly in the dark, a beacon of calm and warmth that shows the way with kindness. It no longer tries to steer every step, but offers its glow when you seek direction. Gratitude blooms within you for this new harmony, a relationship founded on respect, compassion, and quiet understanding. The space between you and your critic has softened into a sanctuary, a gentle refuge for both. You breathe deeply, the cool night air filling your lungs, and exhale slowly, releasing tension and worry with each breath. Your heartbeat slows to a steady, serene rhythm, in tune with the peaceful pulse of the night. Together, you and your inner critic rest in this shared silence, held in the tender hush of darkness. As your eyelids grow heavy and your thoughts drift softly away, like autumn leaves on a still pond, you know this peace is real, lasting, and yours to hold. Tonight, you rest deeply. Tonight, you heal gently. The night stretches on like a vast velvet sea, soft and endless. Outside your window, the stars twinkle faintly, distant fires in a gentle sky, while the breeze carries a delicate scent of pine and fresh earth. Your body nestles deeper into the mattress, every muscle surrendering to the tender pull of rest. The world outside hums its quiet song, leaves whispering secrets, a distant owl calling to the moon, and the subtle cadence of your breath rising and falling with comforting regularity. Your inner critic, once a sharp and insistent voice, now sits quietly beside you, no longer a judge or taskmaster. It has softened into a companion who listens with gentle curiosity. You picture it as a small, quiet figure, wrapped in a warm shawl, eyes kind and thoughtful, learning to speak in whispers instead of commands. I realize now, it says softly, that my greatest wish was to protect you, but I see that protection doesn't require harshness. It can come from trust and kindness. A wave of warmth washes over you at this admission, a quiet healing settling in the space between. The critic's fierce vigilance begins to melt into a patient presence, one that honors your growth without trying to control it. Outside, The night's lullaby continues. The soft rustle of leaves, the distant ripple of water, the gentle chorus of crickets singing under the stars. These sounds mingle with the steady rhythm of your breath and heartbeat, weaving a tapestry of calm that cradles your mind and spirit. Psychologists still debate whether the inner critic is a primal defense or a learned habit. But here, in this peaceful moment, it doesn't matter. What matters is the transformation taking place, a shift from judgment to compassion, from fear to understanding. You imagine the critic now as a softly glowing lantern, its light steady and warm, guiding you gently without overwhelming. It no longer demands control, but offers quiet support when you need it. You feel gratitude bloom within you for this new harmony, a space of mutual respect, patience, and calm. The distance between you has softened into connection, a sanctuary of gentle acceptance. You breathe deeply, drawing in the cool night air, and exhale slowly, releasing tension and worry. Your heartbeat slows, steady and serene, in sync with the quiet pulse of the night. Together, you and your inner critic rest in this shared silence, embraced by the tender hush of darkness. As your eyelids grow heavy and your thoughts drift like soft clouds across a tranquil sky, you know this peace is real, lasting, and yours to keep. Tonight you rest fully. Tonight you heal gently. The night stretches wide and calm around you, folding in gentle layers like a well-loved quilt. The air is cool and crisp, carrying the faint scent of pine and fresh earth, a whisper of nature's quiet lullaby. Your body feels heavy and warm beneath the blankets, every muscle relaxing deeper, as if sinking into the softest cloud. Outside, the world breathes in steady rhythms, the rustling of leaves, a distant owl's call, the subtle murmur of a flowing stream, all weaving together into a symphony of peaceful sounds. Beside you, your inner critic has softened from its usual sharp and insistent tone to a gentle presence. It sits quietly like a careful friend, learning the art of patience and kindness. You imagine it wrapped in a soft shawl, eyes filled with understanding, voice low and tender. "I see now," it whispers, "that protecting you doesn't mean holding you back. Sometimes it means letting you grow." You smile softly, feeling the warmth of that realization settle in your chest. The critic's fierce vigilance transforms into a calm watchfulness, ready to support without controlling. The night continues its gentle serenade. The flutter of moth wings near a porch light, the distant ripple of water over stones, the hushed chorus of crickets. These sounds blend with your breathing, creating a rhythm that soothes your mind and opens your heart. Psychologists still debate whether the inner critic is a primal survival tool or a learned pattern shaped by life's experiences. Whatever its origin, you are discovering that this voice can evolve. It can become a gentle lantern, offering light without harshness, guidance without command. You feel deep gratitude for this new relationship, a space of mutual respect and quiet understanding. The distance between you and your critic softens into connection, a sanctuary of calm. You breathe deeply, filling your lungs with cool night air, then exhale slowly, releasing tension and worry. Your heartbeat slows, steady and peaceful, in harmony with the night's quiet pulse. Together, you and your inner critic rest in this shared stillness, embraced by the soft hush of darkness. As your eyelids grow heavy and your thoughts drift like gentle clouds, you know this peace is real and lasting. Tonight, you rest deeply. Tonight, you heal gently. The quiet night deepens around you, wrapping every thought in a gentle stillness. The soft, cool air flows past your skin, carrying the subtle scent of pine and moist earth, as if the world outside is breathing alongside you in peaceful harmony. Your body feels heavy, yet light, sinking deeper into the bed's embrace. With each slow, deliberate breath, the gentle rustle of leaves and distant calls of nighttime creatures form a soothing soundtrack, inviting your mind to drift with ease. Beside you, your inner critic has softened into a companion rather than a foe. Its voice, once sharp and relentless, now speaks with a gentle kindness, like a familiar friend learning to speak softly. You imagine it wrapped in a warm shawl, eyes tender, quietly watching over you without judgment. "I suppose," it whispers, "that I've been trying to protect you by holding on too tight. Maybe true care is knowing when to let go." You feel the warmth of that understanding settle in your chest, like the first light of dawn melting away the chill of night. The critic's vigilance eases, replaced by a quiet presence that trusts your journey without needing to control it. Outside, the night continues its soft symphony. The flutter of wings, the gentle babble of a nearby stream, the soothing chorus of crickets and distant frogs. These natural melodies blend with the rhythm of your breath, creating a lullaby of peace and ease. Psychologists often debate the nature of the inner critic. Is it an evolutionary safeguard or a learned voice shaped by life's pressures? What matters now is that this voice is transforming, becoming a steady guide that offers gentle light instead of harsh judgment. You picture this voice as a softly glowing lantern, illuminating your path with a warm, inviting glow that never overwhelms. It no longer demands perfection, but offers quiet encouragement. A friend who walks beside you in the dark. Gratitude rises within you for this gentle companionship, a relationship built on patience, kindness, and understanding. The space between you and your critic feels wide and safe, a sanctuary of calm and mutual respect. You draw in a slow, deep breath, feeling the cool air fill your lungs, and exhale fully, releasing any remaining tension. Your heartbeat slows, steady and peaceful, syncing with the gentle rhythm of the night. Together, you and your inner voice rest in this shared silence, embraced by the hush of darkness. As your eyelids grow heavy and your thoughts drift like soft clouds floating on a gentle breeze, you welcome the peace that fills your being. Sleep comes softly now, wrapping you in its tender embrace, carrying you gently into the quiet spaces of rest and renewal. The night wraps around you with its familiar, calming embrace, quiet and endless, like a soft blanket gently pulling you into rest. The air, cool and refreshing, carries the faint scent of earth and dew, blending with the subtle sound of leaves rustling in the breeze. Your body, heavy yet serene, sinks deeper into the mattress, each breath becoming slower, more deliberate, as the weight of the day fades into the distance. Beside you, your inner critic, once sharp and persistent, now sits in silence. It has transformed into a quiet companion, no longer offering commands or judgments, but simply being there with you. You imagine it sitting by your side, wrapped in a soft, worn blanket, its presence now gentle, like the comforting hum of a distant lullaby. "I think I've spent so long trying to make sure you didn't stumble," it says quietly, "that I forgot to let you move freely." A quiet warmth spreads through you at these words, like sunlight slowly breaking through the clouds. The critic's protective instinct, once forceful and overwhelming, has softened, now allowing you the space to grow at your own pace. Outside, the world continues its gentle rhythm, the rustle of trees swaying in the breeze, the distant croak of frogs, the gentle pulse of life at rest. These sounds, so subtle and calming, weave into the fabric of your thoughts, guiding you deeper into tranquility. Psychologists still debate whether the inner critic is a survival mechanism rooted in ancient instincts or a learned behavior shaped by societal pressures. But in this moment, what matters is the transformation, how this voice, once controlling, has become a quiet support, a guide that no longer demands, but simply watches with kindness. You picture the critic now as a soft light in the darkness, like a small candle flickering in a cozy room. Its glow is steady and gentle, illuminating your path without blinding you, offering quiet encouragement without any expectation of perfection. Gratitude fills you, warm and deep, for this newfound peace. The space between you and the critic is no longer one of tension, but of understanding, a shared quiet that speaks louder than words. You take a slow, steady breath, feeling the cool night air fill your lungs, and release it with a soft sigh, letting go of any lingering thoughts or worries. Your heartbeat slows in response, steady and calm, syncing with the peaceful rhythm of the world outside. Together, you and your inner critic rest in this soft silence, embraced by the quiet hum of the night. As your eyelids grow heavier and your mind floats gently toward sleep, you know this peace is real, and it will carry you through the night. With each passing moment, you drift deeper into restful calm, knowing that this space, this tranquility, is yours to keep. The night around you stretches further into its gentle embrace, the world outside settling into a peaceful lull. The cool air flows softly through the room, carrying with it the quiet scent of night, earthy and fresh, full of promise and calm. Your body is anchored in a comforting heaviness, each part of you unwinding with every breath, sinking deeper into the softness of your bed. The world outside feels distant now, as if you are wrapped in a cocoon of peace, separated from the busy world by a veil of quiet. Your inner critic sits nearby, its voice no longer the harsh, demanding tone it once was. Now, it is simply a quiet presence, observing with a gentleness that you have come to understand. The edge has softened, the sternness replaced with an awareness of your shared space and stillness. It speaks now not as an enforcer, but as a companion, and you imagine it as a small figure wrapped in a warm blanket, sitting with you in the dark, content to simply be. You know, it says softly, I used to think my job was to remind you of everything you've done wrong, to make sure you didn't miss anything. But now I see that sometimes it's okay to just be. This admission brings a sense of peace to your heart, like a soft sigh of relief, as if the critic has found a place where its constant vigilance can rest. The voice that once pulled you in all directions with worry and doubt is now quiet, allowing room for the simple beauty of being, without the need to constantly improve or adjust. Outside, the night carries on its rhythm, gentle and unhurried. The sound of a breeze swishing through the trees, the occasional chirp of a cricket, and the distant murmur of water flowing lazily through a nearby stream, all combine into a symphony that lulls your mind further into the quiet. Each sound feels like a soft invitation to rest, to let go, to surrender to the moment. Psychologists still debate whether the inner critic is an inherent part of human nature or a response to external pressures. Regardless, you've come to understand that this voice doesn't need to be silenced, but rather understood. It can transform from a constant critic to a gentle guide, from a voice that demands change to one that offers quiet support. You picture it now, a small light in the darkness, a lantern with a steady, soft glow, casting warmth and reassurance in its light. It no longer tries to control every move, but simply offers a safe, steady presence. A deep sense of gratitude fills you for the peace between you and the critic, for the calm that has taken root where tension once was. The space between you is not filled with judgment, but with understanding and quiet support. You take a slow, deep breath, drawing in the cool night air, and exhale fully, letting go of anything still lingering in your mind. Your heartbeat slows, steady and serene, in perfect harmony with the rhythm of the night. Together, you rest, your critic, now a silent companion, and you, wrapped in the tranquility of the night. As your eyelids grow heavy and your thoughts begin to drift, you feel the pull of rest taking you deeper into sleep. The stillness is yours to embrace fully, and in this space, you let go completely, knowing that rest will carry you through the night and beyond. The quiet of the night deepens, enfolding you like the softest, most comforting embrace. The air is cool, yet inviting, with the fresh scent of earth and the promise of renewal. Your body feels perfectly at ease, sinking deeper into the softness of the bed, as though it's being cradled by the very fabric of sleep itself. Outside, the world hums softly, distant sounds of nature, moving in its usual way, slow and rhythmic. The rustle of leaves, the murmur of water in the distance, the night creatures calling to one another in gentle conversation, all creating a peaceful symphony that invites you to surrender completely. Your inner critic, once an ever-present and demanding voice, now sits beside you, its presence gentler and quieter. It has transformed not into an absence, but into a soft companion who is learning to rest. You can feel the change in the air between you, less tension, more understanding. The voice no longer urges or pushes, but simply exists in a way that honors the silence and peace around you. I've spent so much time trying to help you avoid mistakes, it says softly, that I forgot sometimes. The best thing I can do is allow you to be. Without interference, you feel a wave of warmth settle in your chest. The space between you, now filled with acceptance and calm. The critic's once sharp voice has faded into something kinder, gentler, offering support in its own quiet way, without demanding anything in return. It has learned that rest and peace are as important as growth and achievement, and that both have a place in your journey. Outside, the world continues to whisper its lullaby, the faintest sigh of wind through branches, the distant sound of a river flowing lazily through the night. These sounds fill the space around you, creating a gentle rhythm that syncs with your own breath and heartbeat, guiding you deeper into relaxation. Psychologists still debate whether the inner critic is an intrinsic part of the human condition or a learned voice shaped by culture and experience. But tonight, it feels as if this voice has shifted, not gone, but softened. A reminder that healing doesn't always come from silencing the critic, but from finding peace with it, allowing it to sit quietly by your side instead of taking over the conversation. You picture it now, this once critical voice, as a small lantern glowing in the dark, The light is steady, warm, but not harsh, offering a soft illumination without overwhelming. It doesn't try to control or guide. It simply exists, offering quiet reassurance in the darkness. Gratitude fills you, warm and expansive, for this shift in perspective, for the peace that now exists where tension once lived. You feel the space between you and your inner voice is no longer one of conflict, but of shared understanding. You take a long, deep breath, filling your lungs with the cool night air, and slowly exhale, releasing any remaining tension. Your heartbeat slows further, in perfect rhythm with the gentle pulse of the world around you. Together, you and your inner critic rest in this space of quiet, the darkness wrapping you both in a gentle, healing embrace. As your eyelids flutter closed and your thoughts drift away like soft ripples on a calm pond, you know that this peace will carry you through the night. Sleep comes easily now, soft and gentle friend, ready to guide you into rest and renewal. In this moment, you are safe, you are enough, and you are at peace. The night, now fully settled in, feels like the calmest of seas, quiet, vast, and enveloping. Every corner of the world outside is blanketed in stillness, with the occasional rustle of leaves or the distant murmur of water flowing softly through the earth. Your body, relaxed and peaceful, continues to sink deeper into the embrace of the mattress, as though the bed itself is absorbing all the weight of your thoughts and worries. With every breath, you draw in a little more peace and release just a little more tension, surrendering completely to the quiet pull of sleep. Your inner critic, once a sharp and persistent voice in your mind, has transformed. Now, it sits beside you, no longer filled with judgment or urgency, but with an understanding of the beauty of silence. It no longer feels the need to guide every step, to point out every flaw, or to demand that things be different. It simply rests, like a companion who has learned the value of being present without intervening. I think, it says softly, voice almost a whisper, that I've spent so much time watching you, trying to protect you, that I forgot how to simply let you be. A quiet warmth spreads through you at those words, like the warmth of the sun peeking over the horizon after a long night. The critic, which once hovered over you like an overbearing guardian, has now become an ally, quietly standing beside you, not pushing, not demanding, but offering a gentle presence that understands the importance of rest. Outside, the night continues its quiet rhythm, the rustle of the breeze through the trees, the distant song of crickets, the soft murmur of water weaving its way through the landscape. These sounds fill the air, guiding you deeper into tranquility. You begin to realize that everything around you, the earth, the trees, the stars, has its own rhythm, its own quiet way of being, and in this moment, you are perfectly aligned with it. Psychologists still debate whether the inner critic is an ancient instinct designed to protect us, or a habit learned over time, shaped by expectations and experiences. But what matters tonight is that you found peace with this voice. It's no longer a force that drives you. It's simply a part of you, learning how to coexist with the quiet, with the stillness, and with the peace that now surrounds you. You imagine it now, your inner critic, not as a stern overseer, but as a quiet lantern, its glow soft and steady, illuminating the path ahead without pushing, without forcing. It doesn't need to control the way you walk. It simply offers light, should you need it. You feel a deep sense of gratitude for this new understanding, for the space between you and your critic, no longer filled with tension, but with gentle acceptance. The peace you feel is not just the absence of noise, but the presence of trust. With each deep breath, you relax further. Your heartbeat slows, steady and rhythmic, as if in perfect harmony with the pulse of the world around you. You let go of all remaining thoughts, releasing them like leaves, floating down a river, gently carried away by the current. Together, you rest. The night is your shared companion, holding you in a quiet embrace that allows both you and your critic to simply be. As your eyelids grow heavy and your mind begins to drift, you know that this peace is real, that it will carry you into the depths of sleep. Here, you are safe, you are enough, and you are at rest. The night stretches on, as tranquil as a wide open sky at midnight. The stars scattered above you like distant thoughts, steady and serene. The air remains cool and gentle, wrapping around you with a soothing caress. Your body sinks deeper into the bed, every muscle relaxing more with each passing moment, as if you're being gently drawn into the depths of sleep, one breath at a time. The world outside, too, is at rest, its whispers fading into a peaceful silence. The soft murmur of the wind through trees, the occasional chirp of a distant cricket, all blend together to create a symphony of calm. Your inner critic, once so insistent and loud, now feels like a quiet presence beside you, no longer filled with the sharp, biting edge of judgment. It has softened into something gentler, more understanding. It doesn't demand anything from you, no longer clinging to every misstep, but simply sits with you, offering its quiet company, like an old friend, content to just be in the same space. I spent so long trying to keep you on track, it says softly, voice barely more than a murmur. But maybe, just maybe, the path is already here. Maybe you don't need to walk it alone. There's a warmth in those words, a recognition that you're not meant to carry the burden of perfection. You don't need to constantly strive or be vigilant. Rest, it seems, is just as important as doing. And in this moment, the critic has come to understand that it, too, can rest beside you, no longer needing to keep watch over every step. The night outside continues its gentle rhythm, the occasional rustle of leaves, the far-off call of a night bird, the soft rustle of grass moving in the breeze. These sounds, like your breath, rise and fall in perfect harmony, a reminder of the stillness that pervades everything. If you allow it, you breathe deeply, pulling in the cool air, letting it fill your lungs, then releasing it slowly, letting go of all tension, all worry. Psychologists still debate whether the inner critic is born from evolution, a tool for survival, or if it is shaped over time by external forces and internal fears. Either way, you're discovering tonight that it can evolve, can soften, can transform from an ever-vigilant guard into a quiet companion, offering support in a way that doesn't demand or judge. You imagine it now as a soft light in the dark, a lantern glowing gently beside you, enough to light your way if you need it, but never pushing you forward. It's a light of comfort, not direction, a light that simply says, you are enough just as you are. Gratitude fills you as you think about how far you've come. The space between you and your critic is no longer one of friction, but of understanding, acceptance, and calm. There is no rush, no expectation, just quiet companionship in the stillness of the night, you take another slow, deep breath, feeling your chest rise and fall in the rhythm of rest, your heartbeat syncing with the peaceful pulse of the world around you. The space inside you, once filled with noise and worry, is now calm and clear. Together, you rest. Your inner critic, once a source of tension, now a companion in the quiet, no longer demanding, no longer striving for control. The night holds you both in its gentle embrace. As your eyelids flutter closed and your thoughts drift away, you know that peace will stay with you. It surrounds you now, a soft and constant presence. Sleep, gentle and kind, comes to you now, wrapping you in its deep, healing embrace. The night stretches on, quiet and vast, the kind of stillness that seems to hold the world in gentle pause. Every breath you take is deeper now, as if you're being drawn ever so softly into the heart of sleep. The air around you feels fresh, cool, like a quiet sigh of relief. It brushes against your skin with a tender touch, coaxing your mind further into the soothing rhythm of the night. Your body feels like it's melting into the bed, becoming part of the soft, welcoming fabric that cradles you in comfort. Your inner critic, once a voice of sharp edges and relentless demands, now sits beside you in perfect silence. There is no rush, no urgency. Its once insistent presence has transformed into something more peaceful, quiet, reflective, and accepting. It no longer hovers with warnings, but simply rests in this moment, content to be here without pushing, without fear. You imagine it now as a figure sitting beside you, calm and still, like a companion who has finally found peace. I used to think I had to keep reminding you of every little thing, it says quietly. But now I realize that sometimes silence is what's needed most. The words settle softly in your heart. You sense the critic's realization. Perhaps it never had to be so loud, so insistent. Perhaps it too needed to learn the art of rest, the beauty of simply being present without needing to change anything. Outside, the world carries on in its gentle rhythm, the rustling of the trees, the whisper of the wind, the distant sound of a stream flowing lazily through the landscape. These soft sounds intertwine, creating a lullaby that wraps around your thoughts, guiding you deeper into relaxation. Psychologists still debate the origins of the inner critic, whether it's a survival mechanism or a learned behavior shaped by external pressures and experiences. But tonight, what matters most is the transformation you've experienced together. Your critic, once a constant force of tension and demand, is now a quiet, steady presence, offering its support in a way that feels nurturing and gentle rather than forceful. You picture it now, not as a sharp voice, but as a soft, glowing light beside you, gentle, warm, steady. It's a lantern that provides just enough illumination to see the way ahead without demanding anything from you, without pushing. It's a quiet comfort, simply there to offer what's needed without expectation. Gratitude wells up inside you. The space between you and your inner critic is no longer filled with tension or conflict, but with understanding, patience, and calm. There is no judgment here, only peace, a peace that you both share in the quiet of the night. You take a long, deep breath, feeling the cool air fill your lungs and the weight of the day lift from your body with each exhale. Your heartbeat slows, slow and steady, matching the quiet pulse of the night around you. Together, you and your inner critic Rest in this tranquil space, embraced by the soft hum of the world outside. The quiet, once filled with worry and demand, is now a shared space of calm where both of you can simply be. As your eyelids grow heavier and your thoughts begin to fade like soft clouds in the sky, you know that sleep will come, wrapping you in its gentle embrace. This peace, this calm, will carry you through the night, allowing you to rest, to heal, and to awaken renewed. Sleep comes, slow and soothing, like a tender friend, guiding you into the quiet depths of rest. The night lingers on, deep and endless, like a vast expanse of quiet that stretches beyond the horizon. The cool air swirls gently around you, a soft, refreshing touch that whispers peace. Your body feels perfectly at ease now, every part of you sinking deeper into the mattress, letting go of the weight of the day. The quiet is so profound that it feels like the world is holding its breath with you, waiting for you to fully surrender to this moment of calm. Your inner critic, once a relentless force of doubt and control, is now simply there, no longer a sharp voice, but a quiet presence beside you. Its once harsh edge has dulled, replaced by a gentle understanding. You imagine it now, still and calm, like a quiet companion, sitting in the soft glow of candlelight, offering no more judgments, just quiet company. I spent so long thinking I needed to protect you from every mistake, it says softly, almost a whisper. But now I see that rest is just as important as growth. Maybe I need to rest too. Those words settle in your chest, filling you with warmth. The critic's once insistent voice, always calling you to improve, now speaks from a place of understanding, acknowledging that you don't need to be in constant motion to be worthy. In this quiet moment, the voice becomes a gentle reflection, no longer worried about what you haven't done, but accepting that right now, you are enough. Outside, the world continues its gentle hum, the rustling of leaves, the far-off murmur of water flowing, the faint sigh of the wind. These sounds are like a lullaby, a rhythm that invites your mind to slow, to soften, to release. Each breath you take matches the pace of the night, slow and steady. As you sink deeper into stillness, psychologists still debate whether the inner critic is a product of our biological wiring or a learned behavior shaped by experience. But in this moment, it doesn't matter. What matters is that this voice, once so loud and forceful, has found its place in the quiet. It no longer demands, but rests beside you, offering its support without pressure or expectation. You picture it now as a small lantern, its glow soft and steady, just enough to illuminate the path ahead without casting harsh shadows. It no longer needs to control or direct every step, but simply offers light when needed. Gratitude fills your heart as you think of this transformation, how the space between you and your critic has softened, how the tension that once filled it has dissolved into understanding and compassion. The peace you feel now is shared, a quiet harmony between you both. You breathe in deeply, drawing in the cool night air, and release it slowly, letting go of all the remaining tension, allowing yourself to sink further into the stillness. Your heartbeat slows, steady and calm, as your body continues to relax into the bed's soft embrace. Together, you and your inner critic rest in this gentle silence, held by the soft hum of the world outside. As your eyelids flutter closed and your thoughts drift like leaves carried on a calm stream, you know this peace is real and it will carry you through the night. Sleep takes you gently, wrapping you in its tender embrace, guiding you toward rest and renewal. The night continues to unfold softly, as if time itself has slowed just for you. The cool air wraps around you like a soft blanket, carrying with it the earthy scent of dew-kissed grass and the faint whisper of distant leaves. The bed beneath you feels like a cloud, cradling you in its gentle embrace, pulling you deeper into stillness with every breath. Outside, the world remains peaceful, quiet and vast, the hum of life reduced to the softest whispers of nature. The stars twinkle above like distant fireflies, steady and calm. Your inner critic, now no longer a relentless voice, but a quiet, steady companion, sits beside you. Its presence is calming rather than demanding, a soft reminder of the balance that has been found. You imagine it as a small figure, a silent observer, resting beside you, no longer pushing, but simply being present. It doesn't urge you to do more or be more. It simply exists, content in the stillness of the moment. I've been so focused on making sure you don't make mistakes, it says gently, its voice barely more than a murmur. But I realize now that you don't need to be perfect to be worthy. You already are. Those words sink deep into your heart, soothing the last lingering traces of doubt. The critic, which once sought perfection at every turn, now speaks from a place of understanding. It has learned that perfection is not the goal, that simply being, resting, and allowing yourself to be human is enough. Outside, the world continues its gentle rhythm, the rustle of the wind in the trees, the faint chirp of crickets, the occasional rustle of grass stirred by the breeze. These sounds mingle together like a gentle lullaby, guiding your thoughts further into calm, inviting your mind to release the weight of the day. Psychologists still debate whether the inner critic is a survival instinct ingrained in us or a pattern shaped by society's demands. But tonight, it doesn't matter. What matters is that you have found a quiet harmony, a balance between action and rest, between striving and being still. You imagine the critic now as a warm light flickering softly in the darkness. It no longer blinds you with demands, but simply offers a steady glow, just enough to guide you when needed, but never overwhelming. A sense of gratitude washes over you for this transformation. The peace between you and your critic feels like a shared space now, one filled with patience, acceptance, and calm. There is no rush, no pressure, only a quiet presence that honors your journey. You take a slow, deep breath, feeling the cool night air fill your lungs, and exhale fully, letting go of anything still lingering in your mind. Your heartbeat slows, steady and rhythmic, as you feel yourself sinking deeper into the stillness. Together, you and your inner critic rest, embraced by the soft, quiet night. The world outside continues to whisper its lullaby, a gentle reminder that rest is sacred and peace is always within reach. As your eyelids grow heavy and your thoughts begin to fade like soft wisps of cloud, you know this peace will carry you into the depth of sleep. It's a peace that will stay with you through the night, allowing you to heal, to rest, and to awaken renewed. Sleep comes slowly, softly, wrapping you in its gentle embrace, guiding you into the quiet depths of rest. The night settles in deeper still, like the softest of lullabies that stretches endlessly, wrapping you in peace. The cool, fresh air flows in through the window, bringing with it a comforting scent of nature's quiet breath, pine, earth, and the gentle trace of rain. Every breath you take is slower now, as if your body has learned the rhythm of rest. The soft weight of the blankets is grounding, pulling you closer to sleep with every exhale. The mattress beneath you, a soft and forgiving haven. Your body feels lighter with each passing moment, as if all the weight of the day has melted away. Your inner critic, once a voice that demanded, urged, and insisted, now sits beside you in perfect silence. No longer the constant, watchful force it once was, it has softened into a gentle companion. You can feel its presence, but it no longer holds power over your thoughts, no longer fills the space with pressure. It simply rests, accepting the quiet as you do. You picture it as a small figure, seated beside you in the dim light, not trying to steer you, not speaking in sharp commands, but just being with you. I used to think, it whispers softly, that by keeping you focused on what was wrong, I could make things better. But maybe it's enough to just be here with you. The softness of the voice fills you with a quiet sense of peace. This shift, from sharp criticism to gentle understanding, creates a sense of warmth that wraps around you like a blanket. The critic, once relentless, now becomes a quiet observer, no longer pushing you toward perfection, but simply allowing you to rest and breathe. It no longer fills your mind with doubts, but simply watches the flow of your thoughts with kindness. Outside, the world carries on its gentle rhythm, the rustle of trees in the wind, the distant cry of a night bird, the soft murmur of water flowing somewhere in the dark. These sounds mix with the rhythm of your breath, guiding you toward deeper relaxation. They hold you in their embrace, offering you the stillness of night. Psychologists still debate the origins of the inner critic, whether it comes from deep evolutionary instincts or the learned behaviors that shape us over time. But tonight, what matters is the peace between you and this voice. You no longer need to silence it. Instead, you've learned to coexist. It is a voice that now understands that stillness, rest, and acceptance are just as important as striving and achieving. You picture the critic now as a small, steady light in the dark, a lantern with a soft, steady glow. It no longer demands your attention, but offers a quiet presence, lighting your path only when you need it, and leaving you free to walk without direction when you don't. Gratitude settles deep in your heart as you think about how far you've come in your relationship with this voice. The tension that once filled every corner has faded, replaced by a shared peace, an understanding that both rest and growth have their time. You take a deep, slow breath, feeling the cool night air fill your lungs, and then release it fully, allowing yourself to sink deeper into relaxation. Your heartbeat slows, steady and rhythmic, matching the pulse of the world around you. Together, you and your inner critic rest in this peaceful silence, embraced by the tender hush of night. As your eyelids grow heavy and your thoughts float gently away like soft clouds, you feel the weight of sleep coming closer, like a comforting wave that will carry you into deeper rest. Sleep drifts toward you, soft and healing, ready to envelop you in its peaceful embrace, allowing you to heal and renew. The night stretches endlessly, soft and embracing, the air cool and fresh, wrapping around you like a tender caress. Every sound around you is part of the stillness, the distant murmur of wind brushing through trees, the quiet sigh of the earth settling after its daily rhythm, and the faint rustle of leaves in the breeze. Your body, completely relaxed, feels as though it is sinking deeper into the bed, as if the mattress itself is holding you with the gentlest hands, letting you rest, letting you simply be. Every muscle is relaxed, every breath slower, more deliberate, drawing you deeper into peace. Beside you, your inner critic now feels like a quiet, steady presence, not loud and insistent, but simply a part of the silence. It has transformed over time, no longer demanding or urging, but understanding, calm. You imagine it sitting beside you, no longer looking over your shoulder, but instead simply existing alongside you in the peaceful space of the night, content and still. I've spent so much time trying to make sure you don't fail, it says softly, its voice barely a whisper. But maybe I can let you rest without worry. You don't always need me to tell you what's wrong. The softness of the words brings a sense of release. The critic, once so filled with urgency, now speaks with care, with a kind of understanding you didn't know was possible from it. It's no longer a constant voice in your head, but a quiet presence, offering peace without expectation and letting you simply exist without needing to improve. Outside, the world continues its quiet rhythm. The whisper of wind through branches, the soft murmur of a distant stream, the quiet calls of the night creatures. These sounds, like your own breath, rise and fall in perfect harmony, leading you into deeper relaxation. Every breath you take matches the peaceful tempo of the world around you, guiding you deeper into stillness. Psychologists still debate whether the inner critic comes from our survival instincts, something deeply embedded in our nature, or if it's a learned pattern shaped by the expectations we encounter. But in this moment, it doesn't matter. What matters is the transformation, how this voice, once sharp and insistent, has learned to soften, to become an ally in the quiet rather than an adversary. You picture the critic now as a soft glow beside you, a lantern whose light is gentle and steady, offering just enough warmth to feel safe without overwhelming. It doesn't try to control or guide your every move. It simply offers its light when you ask for it and leaves you the space to walk your own path. A deep gratitude fills you as you realize the growth, the quiet transformation that has taken place. You no longer feel the tension that once accompanied the critic. Instead, there is a sense of understanding, a quiet acceptance that you are enough, that rest is just as important as striving. You take another deep breath, feeling the cool night air fill your lungs, and exhale slowly, releasing the last traces of tension, letting go of all that doesn't serve you in this moment. Your heartbeat slows, steady and calm, in perfect harmony with the gentle rhythm of the night. Together, you and your inner critic rest in this soft silence, the space between you filled with acceptance and quiet understanding. As your eyelids flutter closed and your thoughts begin to drift away like soft clouds floating on a gentle breeze, you know that this peace will stay with you. Sleep comes gently now, wrapping you in its tender embrace, allowing you to sink fully into the rest and renewal you deserve. The night holds you in its deep, comforting quiet, like a vast, infinite space of peace. The cool air flows gently, carrying with it the faint scent of earth, a reminder of the world's gentle rhythm. You feel your body sinking deeper into the bed, becoming part of the quiet, the soft weight of the blankets pressing you further into the stillness. Your muscles relax with each breath, unwinding further, as if the very fabric of the world is inviting you to let go completely. Beside you, Your inner critic, once so persistent and sharp, is now simply a quiet companion, no longer demanding, no longer rushing you to do more or be more. It sits beside you, its presence calm, respectful, and at peace. You picture it now as a small, still figure, its eyes soft, its posture relaxed, offering no judgment but a quiet understanding. I've spent so long trying to protect you, it whispers, but I see now that sometimes the best way to protect you is to let you rest. Those words feel like a soft wave of warmth washing over you, a reassurance that this moment is enough. The critic, once a loud voice of caution, has transformed into a presence that allows you to simply be, to rest without the weight of constant judgment. It has learned that rest, peace, and gentleness are just as important as striving and working. Outside, the world continues its peaceful rhythm, the whisper of the wind through trees, the distant murmur of a stream, the soft, constant rhythm of the night's life. The gentle sounds of the night fill the air, wrapping you in a cocoon of calm, guiding your mind further into quiet. Every breath you take is in sync with the rhythm of the world, slow, steady, and at peace. Psychologists still debate the nature of the inner critic, whether it is an instinctive, protective voice or a learned behavior shaped by societal pressures. But here, in this moment, it doesn't matter. What matters is the change, the shift from pressure to understanding, from control to trust. The critic, now softened, has learned to rest beside you, to support you without pushing, to offer comfort without demand. You imagine it now as a quiet light, a lantern casting a warm glow beside you. It doesn't need to shine brightly. It simply offers enough light to guide your way, without overwhelming, without pushing. Gratitude swells within you as you reflect on the quiet understanding that now exists between you. The tension that once filled the space between you and your critic has dissolved, replaced by a quiet peace. You no longer need to push against the critic's presence because it has learned to sit with you in calm. You take a deep, slow breath, feeling the cool night air fill your lungs. With each breath, you release the weight of the day, sinking deeper into the comfort of this moment. Your heartbeat slows, steady and calm, matching the rhythm of the night around you. Together, you and your inner critic rest in this peaceful stillness held by the quiet of the night. As your eyelids grow heavier and your thoughts drift like soft clouds, you know that this peace is real and lasting. It will carry you through the night, giving you the rest you deserve. Sleep gently embraces you, and in its quiet depths, you find true peace and renewal. The night grows even deeper, the darkness rich and full, embracing you in its calm, as if the very essence of the world has slowed down to give you this moment of peace. The cool air that drifts through the room feels like a soft caress, brushing against your skin, soothing every inch of you. Your body feels heavy and light at the same time, fully relaxed, sinking into the bed as if it were a soft, safe cocoon. With each breath, you feel yourself drifting further into rest, each exhale carrying away the last traces of tension and doubt. Beside you, your inner critic, once a voice filled with sharp demands and restless worry, now feels like a quiet companion, its presence gentle, understanding, and calm. No longer a voice of judgment, but one of quiet reflection. It sits with you, content to simply be. It no longer feels the need to guide or direct, but instead shares this peaceful space with you, a quiet partner in the stillness of the night. I realize now, it murmurs, voice softer than ever, that the greatest thing I can offer you is peace, not pressure. It's okay to rest. You don't have to keep proving yourself. You feel the weight of those words settling into your soul. There's no urgency here, no need to strive or fix, just the peaceful, quiet reassurance that it's okay to be, it's okay to rest, it's okay to simply exist in this moment without worrying about the next thing, the next task, the next achievement. Outside, the world hums its gentle song, the soft whisper of the wind, the rustling of leaves, the quiet flow of water somewhere beyond your window. These sounds, so subtle yet comforting, weave together into a lullaby that invites you to sink even deeper into the peace around you. The rhythm of the world and the rhythm of your breath become one, slow and steady, as your body and mind harmonize with the stillness. Psychologists still explore whether the inner critic is a protective instinct or a learned behavior. Either way, you've learned something important in this moment, that it doesn't need to be loud, demanding, or critical. The critic can rest beside you in peace, offering quiet companionship instead of guidance. And it's in that rest, in that softening, that true healing begins. You picture it now, your inner critic, as a small, steady light in the dark, a lantern that casts just enough warmth to guide you when needed, but doesn't chase you, doesn't hurry you. It's simply there, a constant, gentle presence that you can rely on without fear or pressure. Gratitude fills your heart. There is no longer a battle between you and this voice. The tension that once existed between you has dissolved, replaced with a sense of quiet understanding and mutual respect. You feel safe here, in the calm, in the quiet, knowing that you are enough, just as you are. You take another deep, slow breath, the cool night air filling your lungs, and release it slowly, letting go of all lingering worries, all lingering thoughts. Your heartbeat slows, steady and calm, matching the peaceful rhythm of the world around you. Together you rest, your inner critic and you, in perfect quiet, in perfect peace. The night holds you both gently, wrapping you in its soothing embrace. As your eyelids grow heavy and your thoughts become softer, like drifting clouds, you feel the pull of sleep, gentle and kind, drawing you deeper into its embrace. In this moment, you are safe, you are enough, and the peace you feel will stay with you through the night. Sleep comes, slow and steady, carrying you into its deep, healing rest. The night deepens around you like a soft, endless ocean, its stillness wrapping around you in a comforting embrace. Every breath you take is slower now, each exhale carrying with it the last traces of the day, letting you slip further into the quiet, peaceful lull of the present moment. The air feels cool, but inviting, like a gentle caress, a reminder of the calm that surrounds you. Your body is perfectly still, held gently by the bed, each part of you unwinding further, sinking deeper into the safety of rest. Beside you, your inner critic now feels like a quiet, gentle companion, no longer the voice that demands, judges, or pushes you towards something more. It now sits in peaceful understanding. You can almost sense its relief too, an easing of its former vigilance, as if it has finally accepted that there's nothing more to prove, no more battles to fight, just the quiet acceptance of this moment. I think, it says softly, I've spent so much of my time focused on what you could be doing better. But now I see maybe it's enough to just let you be. A soft smile curls inside you at these words. The critic, once relentless in its pursuit of perfection, now simply rests beside you, acknowledging that peace and rest are not signs of weakness, but of strength. It has learned, just as you have, that sometimes the greatest gift is simply being present, not striving, not achieving, just existing. The world outside hums in its own gentle rhythm, the quiet rustle of wind through branches, the distant murmur of a stream winding its way through the landscape, the soft chorus of night creatures singing their lullaby. These sounds, together with the rhythm of your own breath, form a symphony of peace, wrapping you in a cocoon of calm. Psychologists still explore the nature of the inner critic, whether it's a survival mechanism, an evolutionary byproduct, or a learned response to societal expectations. But what matters now is the transformation that has taken place. Your critic is no longer a force of tension and judgment, but a quiet presence, offering support in the gentlest way. It has learned that rest, that stillness, is as necessary as action, and it sits beside you now, content in the quiet. You imagine it as a small, glowing light, a lantern in the darkness. Its light is steady but soft, enough to guide you, but never blinding, never demanding. It offers its warmth without pushing, simply existing in the space of the night with you, allowing you to walk your path without interference. A deep sense of gratitude fills you. The space between you and your inner critic is no longer one of conflict, but of understanding. It's a space of peace, a place where both of you can rest, free from pressure and expectation. You are enough as you are in this moment, and that is all that matters. You take a slow, deep breath, feeling the cool night air fill your lungs, and release it fully, allowing yourself to relax even further. Your heartbeat slows, steady and peaceful, in rhythm with the quiet of the night. Together, you and your inner critic rest in this peaceful silence, held by the soft embrace of the dark. As your eyelids grow heavier and your thoughts begin to drift like soft clouds, you feel the pull of sleep drawing you closer, wrapping you in its gentle arms. Sleep takes you now, soft and soothing, guiding you into the stillness and calm that you deserve. Rest is here, gentle and kind, a companion for the night. The night stretches on, quiet and unhurried, like the steady flow of a river that moves gently through the darkness. The air is crisp, cool, and invigorating, carrying with it a sense of calm that fills every corner of the room. You feel your body sinking further into the bed, your muscles unwinding completely, each breath deeper and more peaceful than the last. The weight of the day is nothing more than a memory, and you are here now, present, at ease. Your inner critic, once the loudest voice in your mind, now sits beside you, no longer a force of judgment, but a quiet, steady presence. You can feel its energy shifted, softened, as if it has come to understand that rest and peace are just as vital as striving and achievement. It no longer speaks with urgency or demands. It simply sits, a companion in the stillness, content to share this moment with you. I've realized, it says softly, its voice warm and soothing, that I don't have to always push you to be better. Sometimes, the best thing I can do is just be here, quietly, as you are. The words wash over you like a gentle tide, calming and reassuring. The critic, once so intent on pointing out imperfections, now offers acceptance, acknowledging that in this moment you are enough just as you are. It has shifted from a voice of correction to one of quiet support, offering its presence without pressure. Outside, the world continues its soft, rhythmic song, the rustling of the trees in the wind, the distant chirp of crickets, the steady flow of a stream somewhere beyond your view. These sounds weave together into a peaceful lullaby, guiding you deeper into the restful space you've created. Your breath syncs with the pulse of the night, slow and steady, carrying you further into relaxation. Psychologists still debate the origins of the inner critic, whether it's a mechanism designed to keep us safe or a learned habit shaped by external forces. What matters now, though, is that this voice has found its place in the quiet, no longer demanding or judging, but offering gentle support. The critic now sits beside you in peace, content to simply rest. You imagine it now as a warm, flickering lantern, its light soft but steady. It doesn't need to shine brightly, just enough to provide comfort, to light your way if needed, but without overwhelming. It simply exists, offering quiet warmth, nothing more. Gratitude fills your heart as you think of the change that has taken place. The space between you and your critic is no longer filled with tension, but with understanding and acceptance. There is no need for perfection, no need to strive or achieve, just the simple gift of rest and peace. You take another slow, deep breath, feeling the cool night air fill your lungs, and then exhale completely, releasing any last bit of tension. Your heartbeat slows further, steady and calm, in sync with the peaceful rhythm of the night. Together, you rest. You and your inner critic, side by side, in perfect silence. The world outside continues to hum its gentle lullaby, holding you both in its quiet embrace. As your eyelids grow heavier and your thoughts begin to fade, you know that sleep will carry you into the deep, healing rest you deserve. Sleep, gentle and kind, comes to you now, wrapping you in its soothing embrace, carrying you into a peaceful, restful night. The night deepens further, the quiet becoming almost tangible, like a blanket of stillness that gently wraps itself around you. The cool air continues to flow softly through the room, carrying with it a sense of calm that seeps into your very being. Your body, now fully relaxed, sinks deeper into the comfort of the bed, as though it is being held by the very earth itself. The weight of the day has melted away completely, leaving only the soothing pull of rest. Your inner critic, once a force of constant tension and demand, now sits beside you, its presence calm and accepting. It no longer holds its sharp edge, but instead offers quiet companionship. There is no judgment, no pressure to be more or do more, just a shared silence, a space of mutual peace. You imagine it now as a quiet figure beside you, its voice soft and kind, offering no instructions or corrections, simply sharing the moment with you. I used to think that you always needed to be doing something, it says softly, its voice almost a whisper, but now I see that just being here, resting, is enough. You don't have to prove anything. You feel the weight of those words settle into your heart like a soft, reassuring hug. The critic, once so insistent, has learned the importance of quiet, of rest, of being still. It has come to understand that you are enough just as you are, without needing to constantly strive or accomplish. You don't need to prove anything. This moment, this stillness, is enough. Outside, the night continues its gentle rhythm, the soft rustling of the trees, the distant hum of insects, the faint murmur of water flowing in the distance. These sounds are woven together like a lullaby, guiding your thoughts further away from the noise of the world. Every breath you take sinks you deeper into the peace around you, the quiet space that is now filled with acceptance and calm. Psychologists continue to study the nature of the inner critic, whether it comes from a primal instinct to protect or is shaped by the demands of life and society. But tonight, it doesn't matter. What matters is the quiet understanding between you and this voice, no longer a harsh critic, but a companion who rests beside you, allowing you the peace to simply be. You imagine it now, not as a loud voice, but as a gentle light, soft and steady, offering warmth without pushing or demanding. It doesn't need to shine bright, only enough to provide comfort when you need it, and to leave you in peace when you don't. A deep sense of gratitude fills you as you reflect on how far this relationship has come. The critic has transformed, no longer a source of tension, but of quiet support. You realize that rest is not just the absence of activity, but the presence of peace, and you are worthy of both. You take a slow, deep breath, feeling the cool air fill your lungs, and exhale fully, releasing all remaining tension. Your heartbeat slows, calm and steady, in perfect sync with the quiet rhythm of the world around you. Together, you and your inner critic rest in this peaceful silence. The world outside holds you in its soothing embrace, and as your eyelids grow heavier, you know that sleep is near. It will carry you into the quiet depths of rest, where healing and renewal await. Sleep comes gently, like a soft wave, guiding you into a peaceful, restorative night. The night, vast and quiet, continues to envelop you in its soothing embrace. Every detail seems to soften. The cool air that touches your skin, the faint rustle of the leaves outside, the peaceful silence that fills the room. It's a gentle stillness that pulls you deeper into rest, as if the very fabric of the night is inviting you to surrender completely to its calm. Your body, fully at ease, continues to sink deeper into the bed, the weight of the day dissolving with each breath. The soft rhythm of your breath matches the quiet pulse of the world outside, steady and calm. The bed feels like a safe cocoon, holding you, supporting you, allowing you to relax further. Beside you, your inner critic sits quietly. There's no pressure, no demand for change, just peace. It has transformed once more, no longer a force of tension or anxiety, but a quiet presence that accepts this moment for what it is. You picture it now, seated in the soft light of the night, its voice calm and understanding, offering no judgment, only gentle company. I used to think I had to keep reminding you of your flaws, it says softly. But now I see that there's beauty in just being. You don't need to be anything more than what you are in this moment. Those words settle deep within you, like a soft weight that brings relief. The critic, once a constant source of pressure, has found its place in the quiet. It no longer seeks to fix, to improve, or to guide. It simply sits beside you, acknowledging that you are enough as you are. No more striving, no more need for perfection, just peace. Outside, the night hums its lullaby, the whisper of the wind, the rustling of branches, the faint, comforting sound of water flowing somewhere in the distance. These sounds are gentle and constant, like the heartbeat of the world, guiding you deeper into relaxation, inviting your mind to let go, to rest. Psychologists often explore the role of the inner critic, whether it arises from deep survival instincts or from societal pressures. But tonight, it doesn't matter. What matters is the transformation that has taken place. Your critic is no longer a force of tension. It is a quiet, steady presence beside you. It has learned that rest, acceptance, and peace are as important as action. You imagine it now as a soft, glowing light, just enough to guide you without pushing or overwhelming. It doesn't demand, doesn't judge. It simply exists, a gentle presence offering quiet support when needed. Gratitude fills your heart. The tension that once existed between you and your inner critic has dissolved. The peace you now feel is shared, space of mutual understanding and acceptance. There is no need for perfection, no need to prove anything, only the quiet, peaceful presence of the moment. You take a long, deep breath, feeling the cool air fill your lungs, and slowly exhale, releasing any remaining tension. Your heartbeat slows, steady and calm, as you sink deeper into the embrace of rest. Together, you and your inner critic rest in perfect silence, embraced by the peace of the night. As your eyelids grow heavier and your thoughts become soft and distant, you know that sleep is near. It will carry you gently into its embrace, allowing you to rest, heal, and renew. Sleep comes, slow and steady, wrapping you in its tender, calming embrace, leading you into the deep, restorative rest you deserve. The night stretches on in its infinite calm, wrapping you in layers of stillness that feel like a soft, gentle cocoon. The air is cool, crisp with a fresh scent of earth and leaves, and it surrounds you, bringing a quiet sense of comfort. Your body, heavy and warm beneath the blankets, feels completely relaxed, as though it is dissolving into the bed, sinking deeper into the softness. Each breath you take is slow, deep, and peaceful, allowing you to drift further into the quiet. Your inner critic, once the loudest voice in your head, has become a gentle companion beside you, no longer filling your thoughts with demands or judgments. It now rests with you in the calm, content to simply be. There is no urgency, no rush. It sits beside you, its presence now steady and peaceful, offering no correction, no pressure, just quiet companionship. I think I've spent so long worrying about your mistakes, it says softly. But now I realize there's nothing more important than just letting you rest, just letting you be. You feel the warmth of those words settle into your heart. The critic, once so relentless in its pursuit of perfection, now understands that you don't need to prove anything. You don't need to be anything other than what you are in this moment. And in this moment, you are enough. Outside, the world continues, its gentle rhythm, the rustle of leaves, the soft murmur of water flowing in the distance, the peaceful song of crickets in the cool air. These sounds, like your breath, rise and fall in harmony, guiding you deeper into rest. Each breath takes you further into a space of peace and calm. Psychologists still explore whether the inner critic comes from evolutionary instincts or societal conditioning. But tonight, it doesn't matter. What matters is the change that has taken place. This voice, once filled with criticism, has softened into something kind, something that understands the value of stillness, rest, and peace. You imagine it now as a soft light in the dark, steady but gentle. It no longer shines with the intensity of perfectionism, but with a warm, steady glow that simply guides without forcing. It is a quiet, comforting presence beside you, offering you rest without expectation. Gratitude fills your heart as you reflect on the transformation. The critic, once an adversary, is now a quiet companion, offering support not through pressure, but through calm understanding. You are enough, just as you are. And that realization, like a soft, gentle wave, fills you with peace. You take another deep breath, filling your lungs with the cool night air, and exhale slowly, allowing your body to sink even further into the comfort of rest. Your heartbeat slows, steady and calm, matching the peaceful rhythm of the world outside. Together, you and your inner critic rest in the quiet, embraced by the peace of the night. As your eyelids grow heavier and your thoughts fade like soft whispers, you know that sleep is drawing closer, a gentle embrace that will carry you into the deep, restorative rest you deserve. Sleep comes slowly, softly, wrapping you in its calming embrace, and as you drift deeper into rest, you know you are held, you are safe, and you are enough. The night continues its gentle lullaby, the silence now deeper, more enveloping, as if the world has paused, just for you. The cool, crisp air flows softly, caressing your skin, a reminder of the calmness that surrounds you. Your body feels as though it has melted into the bed, each part of you heavy yet light at the same time, deeply rooted in comfort. Every breath you take is a steady, rhythmic movement, syncing with the pulse of the world around you. Your inner critic, once the loudest voice, now rests quietly beside you, no longer the driving force of pressure. It has become a quiet presence, calm, soft, and understanding. You imagine it sitting beside you in the darkness, not a voice of correction, but a quiet companion who accepts this moment of stillness, who no longer feels the need to urge, to guide, or to push. I think I've finally understood, it says softly, its voice barely more than a whisper, that the most important thing is not what we do or how we improve, but that we rest when we need to. Just let go. You smile softly at those words, feeling the last bit of tension within you dissolve. The critic, once a constant force of judgment, has softened into something kinder, something that understands that rest, quiet, and peace are just as valuable as striving, working, and achieving. You realize, in this moment, that there is nothing more you need to do right now. You can just be. You are enough. Outside, the world hums its quiet song, the distant rustling of leaves, the faint murmur of a stream flowing in the distance, the gentle chorus of insects serenading the night. These sounds fill the space, soothing your mind and guiding you deeper into rest. The peace of the world outside mirrors the peace you are beginning to feel within. Psychologists continue to study the nature of the inner critic, whether it is an ancient instinct or a learned behavior. But tonight, you don't need to answer that question. Tonight, you simply rest. Your inner critic has found peace beside you. It no longer drives or demands, but simply exists, offering calm without expectation. You imagine it now, a soft glow in the dark, a lantern that gives just enough light to feel secure, but never too much to overwhelm. It is a steady, comforting presence, offering warmth without pressure, guidance without intrusion. It simply shines, softly, steadily, like a small, quiet companion in the dark. Gratitude fills you as you realize the shift. The tension that once existed between you and this voice is gone. What remains is acceptance, calm, and peace. You take another slow, deep breath, feeling the cool air fill your lungs, and then exhale slowly, letting go of everything that still clings. Your heartbeat slows, steady and calm, syncing perfectly with the peaceful rhythm of the world around you. Together, you and your inner critic rest. The night holds you both, gently, quietly, as your eyelids grow heavier and your thoughts become soft and distant. You know that sleep is nearing, a gentle embrace that will guide you into the peaceful rest your body and mind crave. Sleep takes you now, soft and soothing, carrying you into the deep, restful peace you deserve. The night continues to stretch endlessly around you, deep and quiet, like a soft cloud that wraps you in its gentle embrace. The cool, refreshing air flows into the room, carrying with it the calming scent of night, earth, pine, and the faintest trace of rain. You feel your body sinking further into the bed, the softness cradling you, inviting you to let go completely. Your muscles unwind with each breath, and you feel as though you are becoming part of the peaceful stillness that surrounds you. Beside you, your inner critic is now a calm presence, no longer the loud voice demanding more, pushing you to be better. It simply rests with you in the silence. You feel its energy softened, like a quiet companion who no longer seeks to change you, but simply to exist beside you. There is no judgment now, no pressure, just understanding. I've been so focused on what you could be doing, it says softly, its voice low and full of compassion. But I understand now that it's okay to rest. You don't have to do anything, just be. Those words settle into you, bringing a quiet relief. The critic has found its place beside you, no longer trying to correct or change, but simply allowing you to be. It has learned, as you have, that rest is not just the absence of activity, but the presence of peace. Outside, the world continues to hum in its gentle rhythm, the rustling of leaves, the distant sound of water flowing softly, the subtle call of night creatures. Each sound blends with the rhythm of your breath, a soothing lullaby that carries you deeper into calm. The night embraces you fully, a cocoon of peace that holds you in its warm silence. Psychologists still debate whether the inner critic is an evolutionary survival tool or a learned response to society's demands. But tonight, it doesn't matter. What matters is that this voice, once a relentless force, has become a soft, steady presence. It no longer fills you with doubt or urgency. It simply sits beside you, offering quiet comfort and understanding. You imagine it now as a soft glow in the dark, a lantern that casts just enough light to guide you, but doesn't overpower. It is steady, gentle, and warm, providing quiet support without overwhelming you. A sense of deep gratitude fills you. You feel at peace with this voice now, understanding that it doesn't have to be silence. It can rest too. You are enough as you are in this moment, and you deserve this peace. The tension that once filled the space between you has dissolved, replaced by quiet understanding. You take another slow, deep breath, the cool air filling your lungs, and exhale fully, letting go of everything. Your heartbeat slows, steady and calm, in perfect harmony with the gentle pulse of the world around you. Together, you and your inner critic rest in this soft, peaceful silence. The world outside holds you both in its quiet embrace. As your eyelids grow heavier and your thoughts drift away like soft clouds, you know sleep is near, a gentle and kind guide that will carry you into the deep, rest you need. Sleep arrives, slow and soothing, wrapping you in its embrace, bringing you into the restorative peace you've been waiting for. The night holds you in its quiet embrace, its deep, peaceful silence wrapping around you like a warm, comforting blanket. The air is cool, yet soothing, a soft breeze drifting in through the window, bringing with it the fresh scent of the earth, the last traces of rain from earlier in the evening. Your body, completely relaxed, sinks deeper into the softness of the bed, every muscle loosening, as if the very weight of the world has been lifted from you. Your inner critic, once a loud, ever-present voice, now sits beside you in complete silence. It no longer hovers with demands or judgment, but simply exists as a gentle presence, no longer driven by the need to correct or push. It is content in this stillness, offering no more than quiet companionship. Its voice, once sharp, is now nothing more than a soft whisper of understanding. "I've been so worried about keeping you on track," it says gently, "but now I see that rest is just as important as action. Maybe sometimes we just need to be." Those words settle deep in your chest, like a gentle release. The critic has found peace in its own way, realizing that the constant striving, the endless pursuit of perfection, is not the only path to growth. Sometimes, stillness is what is needed, and in this moment, stillness is exactly what you embrace. Outside, the world continues its quiet rhythm, the soft rustling of the leaves, the distant murmur of a stream, the faint hum of life all around you, moving in perfect harmony. Each sound, gentle and soothing, guides you deeper into relaxation, urging your mind and body to surrender completely to the quiet of the night. Psychologists continue to explore the nature of the inner critic, whether it arises from primal instincts, societal conditioning, or learned habits. But tonight, it doesn't matter. What matters is the transformation, the shift from a demanding presence to one of quiet support and understanding. Your critic is no longer a voice of pressure. It is a quiet companion, offering comfort without expectation. You imagine it now, a soft, glowing light in the darkness, steady and warm. It doesn't shine brightly, but provides just enough light to reassure you, enough to guide you if you need it, but never pushing, never demanding. Gratitude fills your heart as you reflect on the change. The critic, once a force of tension, has transformed into a peaceful presence beside you. Together, you rest, free from judgment, free from the weight of constant striving. You take a deep, slow breath, feeling the cool night air fill your lungs, and exhale slowly, letting go of everything, any lingering thoughts, any remaining tension. Your heartbeat slows, steady and calm, perfectly in sync with the peaceful rhythm of the world outside. Together, you rest in this peaceful silence, embraced by the quiet of the night. As your eyelids grow heavier and your thoughts begin to fade, you know sleep is near, a gentle companion who will carry you into a deep and restorative rest. Sleep comes softly, wrapping you in its tender embrace, guiding you into the stillness of peaceful rest, where healing and renewal await. The night stretches onward, calm and deep, like a vast ocean of silence that holds you gently in its embrace. The air flows cool and soothing, wrapping around you, inviting your thoughts to settle and your body to melt further into the bed. The world outside seems far away, as if the gentle hum of the universe is muted just for you. Every sound around you is soft, almost imperceptible. The rustle of leaves, the murmur of wind, the distant call of an owl, all forming a lullaby that pulls you deeper into peace. Your body, heavy and fully relaxed, feels lighter at the same time, as though it is dissolving into the softness of the bed, embraced by the quiet. Every part of you is at ease, breathing slowly and deeply, syncing with the rhythm of the night. Your inner critic, once so insistent and sharp, is now simply a companion. Its presence beside you feels quiet and steady, no longer pushing or demanding. It no longer carries the weight of constant correction. Instead, it simply rests with you, understanding that rest and peace are just as essential as action and doing. The critic no longer needs to be loud to be present. It simply exists in harmony with the calm that surrounds you. I think I've learned something important, it says softly, the words almost a whisper. You don't always need to be on alert, trying to fix things. Sometimes, the greatest thing I can do is just let you be. The words settle in your heart, a warm wave of understanding washing over you. The critic, once so focused on keeping you in check, has softened. It now understands that the present moment, this quiet, is just as valuable as anything else. You don't need to prove yourself here. You don't need to be anything other than what you are in this moment. And in this moment, you are enough. Outside, the world continues its slow, peaceful rhythm. The soft breeze rustling through the trees, the gentle chirping of crickets, the quiet flow of water somewhere in the distance. All of these sounds weave together like a symphony, guiding your mind to a place of rest. Your thoughts, once racing, now slow and steady, like leaves floating on a calm river, carried gently by the current. Psychologists continue to explore the origins of the inner critic. But tonight, it doesn't matter. What matters is that this voice, once full of pressure and demands, has transformed into something kinder. It's no longer a force of tension, but a quiet, supportive presence beside you. It understands now that rest is not a sign of weakness, but a vital part of the journey. You imagine it now, not as a force to be reckoned with, but as a soft, glowing light in the dark. Its glow warm and steady, offering quiet support without pressure, without expectation. Gratitude fills your chest as you reflect on the peace that has taken root between you and your critic. There is no longer the need to fight, to prove, to strive. There is only acceptance and understanding, a peaceful coexistence between you both. You take a deep breath, feeling the cool air fill your lungs, and exhale slowly, letting go of anything left to release. Your heartbeat slows, steady and calm, in perfect sync with the rhythm of the world around you. Together, you and your inner critic rest in the deep peace of the night. The world outside continues its soft hum, holding you both in its quiet embrace. As your eyelids grow heavier and your thoughts begin to fade, you know sleep is drawing near. It will carry you into a deep, restorative rest, where your mind and body can heal and renew. Sleep comes softly, wrapping you in its tender embrace, guiding you into a peaceful, quiet rest that will restore you completely. The night, vast and endless, wraps around you in a peaceful embrace, pulling you deeper into its stillness. The air is cool, but gentle, carrying the faintest hint of nature's quiet breath. Your body, fully at ease, sinks deeper into the bed, every muscle relaxed, every tension melting away like a distant memory. The rhythm of your breath becomes slower, more deliberate, matching the gentle pulse of the world outside, as if everything is moving in perfect harmony. Beside you, your inner critic has transformed completely. No longer the loud, insistent voice of doubt and pressure, it now sits in perfect silence, content to simply exist with you in this moment of peace. It has become a gentle companion, offering no demands, no urgencies, just quiet understanding. Its presence feels like a soft, reassuring hum, something steady but unintrusive, like the calm of the night itself. I've come to realize, it says softly, its voice almost a whisper, that sometimes the greatest gift I can give you is silence, just letting you rest without pushing you to be more. Those words fill you with a quiet peace. The critic, once a source of tension and doubt, has become a peaceful presence, no longer focused on what needs fixing, but simply being alongside you in the stillness. It understands now that rest is not a sign of failure, but a vital part of healing and renewal. You don't need to be anything else, do anything else, except be here, resting, at peace. Outside, the night continues its soft rhythm, the rustling of leaves, the distant song of night birds, the whisper of wind moving through the trees. The world's gentle hum blends with your own breathing, creating a perfect symphony of stillness, inviting you to drift deeper into the quiet. Psychologists still debate the origins of the inner critic, but tonight it doesn't matter. What matters is the shift that has taken place, a shift from judgment and pressure to understanding and peace. The critic is no longer a force demanding change, but a gentle presence offering support in the quiet, allowing you the space to simply be. You imagine it now, not as a sharp, critical voice, but as a soft, glowing light beside you. It's steady, warm, offering just enough light to guide you when you need it, but never overwhelming, never forcing you to move before you're ready. A deep sense of gratitude fills you as you reflect on the transformation that has taken place. The critic has learned the importance of rest, of being still, of allowing you to exist in this moment without the need for constant striving. It no longer fills the space with tension, but with acceptance. You take a deep, slow breath, feeling the cool night air fill your lungs, and exhale fully, releasing all remaining thoughts and tension. Your heartbeat slows, steady and calm, in perfect harmony with the gentle rhythm of the world around you. Together, you and your inner critic rest in this peaceful silence, held by the soft embrace of the night. As your eyelids grow heavy and your thoughts fade into the quiet, you know that sleep is near. It will carry you into the deep, restful peace you deserve. Sleep arrives, gentle and soothing, like a soft wave, guiding you into the restful sleep that will rejuvenate your mind and body. The night, still and endless, cradles you completely in its quiet embrace. The air is cool and refreshing, soft against your skin, a perfect companion to the deep, peaceful rest you're now slipping into. Your body is heavy and relaxed, completely at ease, every part of you sinking deeper into the comforting bed. The rhythmic pulse of your breath matches the serene hum of the world outside, as if time itself has slowed just for you. Beside you, your inner critic has become nothing more than a silent, steady presence, no longer a force of judgment or demand, but a quiet companion, resting alongside you. There is no need for change now, no need to prove anything. The critic, once so focused on pushing you forward, now understands that in this moment, rest is all you need. I understand now, it whispers softly, that rest, this stillness, is a part of the journey too. You don't need to be anything more right now. You are enough as you are. Those words, soft and gentle, fill you with a deep sense of peace, washing away the last traces of tension. The critic has learned the value of quiet, of peace, of just being in the present moment, without striving, without pressure. Outside, the world continues its gentle rhythm, the rustling of leaves, the soft murmur of a distant stream, the faint calls of night birds. These sounds are like a lullaby, leading you further into the soothing depths of rest, where nothing exists but this moment of peace. And in this quiet, you realize that you no longer need to fight, no longer need to prove. You are enough, right here, right now. The critic is at rest, just as you are. Sleep comes, like a gentle wave, wrapping you in its healing embrace. It will carry you through the night, bringing you rest, peace, and renewal. Tonight, you rest fully. Tonight, you heal gently.